Help them put it on paper. Torrance Book Publishing has been helping people just like you who have a book idea, written or not, for over 100 years. Imagine being counted among the most famous authors in the world with your very own book. Call right now and let us help you turn a book idea into reality. It's easier than you think. You just need a little help. Call us now.
800-879-4098. 800-879-4098. 800-879-4098. That's 800-879-4098.
With traffic on the 5s at 3:05, here's Matt Baer.
All right, we have a crash, Harrison, on the east side. It's from northbound 465 on the exit ramp to Pendleton Pike. It's at the very top. The ramp is open, partially blocked. Eastbound 465 stop-and-go traffic from Keystone Avenue over to Allisonville Road. Traffic sponsored by Allstate. As some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Mostly sunny skies expected for the day today. Another dry afternoon, low humidity with highs near 88. Mainly clears tonight, comfortably cool with lows near 61. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it.
Hey, now. How are you fine folks? My name is Jason Hammer. Jeff Boggs is filling in for Big Nige today. And there was some news making its way around portions of social media earlier today that there was some sort of security breach in New York because Trump is speaking in Nassau tonight. And some blue check folks on Twitter were saying, hey, we're getting reports that a suspicious package had been found in a car. Now, the police are saying there's no validity to that story at all. But damn it, Jeff, we're at the point now where as soon as you hear that, you think, here we go again.
Yeah, I assume it was another attempt. So anytime the police come out right away and I see the media saying there's nothing to see here, please disperse, I think we all know it was probably true.
It's like when a head coach says that a struggling quarterback, oh, he's still my guy. Still my guy. And then next week, like Bryce Young, he's not your guy anymore. So I don't know, but the police have denied that any sort of explosives were found in a car. I know TMZ and like Benny Johnson and some of these folks on Twitter were talking about this earlier, but I wanted to bring that to your attention. People sent me messages about it, and it looks like, at least right now, they're saying it's a big nothing burger.
Well, I think, what is it? Since 2018, conspiracy theories are undefeated. So
certainly for the last couple of years, it feels like it anyway. Last night, Donald Trump Jr. jumped on with Jesse Waters, friend of the show, Jesse Waters, and talked a little bit about how things are so toxic right now. The hateful, evil rhetoric that predominantly is coming from one side of the media, not even politicians, right? Politicians will trash talk each other. That's been happening since this country had been founded. But you've got about 85 to 90% of the national media now picking a side, and that's what Don Jr. is concerned about.
I'm getting, frankly, I tweeted about it yesterday. I'm sort of sick and tired of having to have that conversation with my 5 young children about a deranged leftist clearly motivated by the sound bites of the radical left and the mainstream media shooting at their grandfather. That happened at a golf course. My daughter Kai plays there with him every weekend. They're scared about that. I shouldn't have to have that conversation in America in 2024, in anywhere in the civilized world. No one should. But it's 100% from them. In fact, within 24 hours of the shooting, how many of these media correspondents and, again, Democrat propagandists were out there talking about the threat that my father continues to pose? I mean, Hillary Clinton said it herself. She said he's a unique threat to democracy, I guess. But you know what? After 9 years of calling him a Nazi and a fascist and a dictator and the Hitler and the greatest threat to democracy ever, what do you expect? You don't think this is intentional? They know exactly what they are doing.
Is it just me, or is Don Jr. getting better and better? Every time I see him, I see a guy, I guess the term is coming into his own, but the passion with which he spoke to Jesse last night, really impressive. And my goodness, he's 100% right. When Hillary Clinton is out there the day after an assassination attempt, Hillary Clinton, grandma death, by the way, when she's out there just still stoking the fires, turning up the temperature, it's unbelievable. And I have to think, if the FBI were to break it down and do a composite of what a potential Trump assassin would look like, it would be a picture of Keith Olbermann.
You may not be wrong there. Back in the day when you were a writer on Letterman show, Dave used to make fun of Bill Clinton all the time. Tons of Clinton jokes, from pasty white thighs to banging chicks and everything in between. When did Hillary turn that corner to become the evil one? Like, when did Hillary Clinton all of a sudden become a larger figure than Bill to the media?
That's a really good question, because, you look back in the whole Stand By Your Man during the Monica Lewinsky, Paula Davis. I think it's when she decided to run for office is when she became fair game. Bill Burr has a great joke about Michelle Obama when he talks about, if you hire a plumber, you don't really care his wife's opinion. And so I think for most people, Hillary was window dressing during the days that Tubby was banging interns. But now that she's actually, coming up with laws and she's the Secretary of State, now it's open game. And to see her there's actually something a bit impressive. She refuses to change. No. She is evil, and she's just going.
She owns it.
She owns it, and it's terrifying. But my goodness, don't you wish we had a couple people like that on our side?
That's the thing, and we talked about this the other day. Donald Trump resonated with so many people back in 2016 because he fought back. And as somebody that votes Republican or is considered conservative, you had not had that in a long time. This was a guy that's willing to say to the national media, I don't need you. You can kiss the fattest part of my New York, Florida backside here. And that was your guy. Someone finally sticking up. And that's what drives so many people on the left crazy. Now, the question becomes, who's more to blame for Donald Trump's rhetoric? Donald Trump's attempted assassination attempts. Is it the rhetoric from the media, or is it the Secret Service being incompetent, or maybe something more? Check out what Rand Paul had to say.
One of the most important things that we've asked the Secret Service for was denials of security. So the Trump security detail, Secret Service detail, as well as the Trump campaign for months and months requested more security, and this was denied by the Secret Service. They know it. I've asked the director. They've looked into it, but they haven't shared any of it with us. We know that in Butler County was the first time that they had counter snipers there. Thank God. If they had not had the counter snipers there, that shooter would have continued, and Donald Trump would have surely been killed, as well as many more people. He was taken down pretty quickly, but there was a host of errors. He never should have gotten on the roof. They saw him for 90 minutes, but never stopped the proceeding in order to interview him or interdict him. They knew he was on the roof, man on a roof, for 3 minutes. That was broadcast to the control tent, and yet Trump was still not taken from the stage. So the first assassination attempt, error after error after error, but these were errors of willpower, not manpower. Now, like Washington, everything else, somebody fails at their job, you give them more money. No, why don't we replace the people who didn't do their job and have better people in those positions?
I like Rand Paul. Maybe not as much as Rand Paul likes Rand Paul, but I like Rand Paul. I thought he was spot on with a lot of the COVID stuff. And he's coming from an angle where he knows what it's like. He's been assaulted from lunatics in the past as well.
Right. And, people bring up, they go, oh, but it happens on both sides. We're talking about, Paul Pelosi with the hammer, and then they inevitably go to January 6th. But it kind of stops there. They don't have, we is Steve Scalise. And these two attempts now, don't you almost feel like, I think most people would, bet that something will happen again, whether today's explosives in a car was something or not. I think most people feel like something could happen again. I feel like we're one more assassination attempt from getting on the edge of a civil war to where people are like, we're not protected. Like, people like you and I don't feel protected. The Secret Service, it's absolutely insane that we're giving $100 billion to Ukraine, but we can't scope out 18 holes on a golf course. It makes no sense to the regular people.
So last night, Donald Trump, for the first time since the second assassination attempt, which is wild to say in itself, did an event. He was up in Flint, Michigan, and he talked about, how he's going to bring automobiles back, not electric vehicles, good old-fashioned automobiles, and that's, red meat in Michigan. But this is my favorite part. He starts talking about how Joe Biden and Kamala Harris called him after what happened on Sunday, and he's trying to tell a serious story. And you're going to hear some dude in the background yell out a blank Joe Biden, and it makes Donald Trump laugh a little bit.
And I have to say that President Biden called me yesterday. It was very nice. We had a very nice conversation. I appreciated that he called about, what happened the other day. And he says, he's committed. He's committed. No, and today, a little while ago, I got a very nice call from Kamala. No, it was very nice. It was very nice. It was very, very nice, and we appreciate that. But we have to take back our country. We have to win. We're going to win, and we're going to make America great again. That's all there is to it. Very simple.
You don't hear the old man laugh a lot, but you got to laugh out of him right there.
That was great.
Matt Bear, what's going on?
Looking at southbound 65 stop-and-go traffic, 21st to Meridian Pad. North side, eastbound 465, slow off Westfield Boulevard to the White River. And eastbound 70 dragging just a bit West Street into the South Split. Traffic sponsored by Indeed.com. You don't need a job site. You need a hiring platform. Indeed lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from one place. Start at Indeed.com/credit. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Right now, beautiful day. Sunshine and 86 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Again, Jeff Boggs, not Kenny Rogers on Twitter, filling in for Nige. Somebody sent me a Facebook message the other day and said, I don't get the whole not Kenny Rogers thing. Does he look like Kenny Rogers? One more time, for those that haven't paid attention, why is your social media not Kenny Rogers?
Well, because when I signed up, I think it was 12 or 13 years ago, I was actively working in Hollywood, writing shows, producing shows, and it didn't seem like a great idea to have my name out there for some of the things I was saying. So I decided, instead of putting my name, why don't I put who I could be other than Kenny Rogers. I think it's really pretty straightforward. And I still, 70% of the messages are, you're, dishonoring the memory of Kenny Rogers. And I'm always like, what part of my name is confusing to you?
You're not Kenny Rogers. And this was also at the same time where people were putting real and official in their names. The real, AC Slater or official AC Slater, whatever it may be.
Well, it's also funny because thinking back 13 years, watching how many conservatives are now making money off of this, maybe I should have gone with my name. Who knows?
Maybe. But we're going to have fun today. Brian Baker's going to join us a little bit later on. We'll talk about what the Fed is doing. The Tonus, Tony Kennett, will join us. Let's have a day. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
It's JMV Miss M's Fall Open Houses this Saturday. Great giveaways. Enter to win prizes, hot cider, and Pearl Coffee Company, along with Mallard Run Winery on site too. State Road 135 South in Bargersville.
Did you know the Social Security Trust Fund is expected to run out of money in less than 10 years? And according to Barron's, an average income couple could lose like $16,500 every year in Social Security income. That's crazy. That's why it's so critical you have the right strategy to file for Social Security. That's why you need to get a hold of Bill Demery right now, 648-5120.
I mean, let's be honest. This is some complicated stuff here, but Bill Demery will let you know how you could get every nickel that's rightfully yours with a free custom Social Security analysis. Bill Demery, your retirement guy. If you've saved more than $200,000 and have not yet filed for Social Security, Call Bill Demery today, 317-648-5120. That's 317-648-5120. 317-648-5120. Bill Demery, your retirement guy.
Mike loves the fall in Indy, but he hates to paint, so he called Rhino Shield.
Our home is basically a contemporary, and we just started noticing that the paint was just fading and just looked like garbage. We had received a postcard from Rhino Shield, and we decided to take a look at it.
Rhino Shield's formulated for our specific climate here in Indiana.
We had problems in the past with painters. They leave debris and everything. Well, we didn't have that with Rhino Shield.
And right now, Indy, get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price. Plus, there's more great news. Rhino Shield has partnered with Green Sky Financing to offer affordable monthly payments with 0% interest loans to qualified customers.
The thing about Rhino Shield, the heat gain has been reduced, and we save $70 a month. You don't hear that about any type of paint.
Here's Rhino Shield Shane Smith.
Call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint. Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Tony Katz here for Premier Arms in Brownsburg. This is your premier gun store. Premier Arms has the experience and know-how to help the new gun buyer and the most experienced marksman. They've been in business for over 20 years and have a friendly, knowledgeable staff that wants to help you, not talk down to you. Premier Arms in Brownsburg is family-friendly, so bring the kids. All ages are welcome. Everyone can find what they're looking for at Premier Arms in Brownsburg, 3754 South Green Street. Online at premierarms.com. Tell them Tony Katz sent you, premierarms.com.
Hi, this is Zach Ingledow from Ingledow Tree Experts. When it comes to the health and beauty of your trees, trust Ingledow Tree Experts. Our certified arborists ensure your trees are trimmed, removed, and cared for with precision. Fall is the perfect time for tree maintenance. Call now for your free estimate and let us handle the hard work. Give me a call, 317-903-0102, or visit ingledowtreeexperts.com for more information. Ingledow Tree Experts, where your trees come first.
Seems like there's more identity theft in the news every day.
Another major healthcare breach was reported today, resulting in the exposure of
Now, 1 in 4 consumers have been a victim of identity.
That's because there are endless places that could accidentally expose you to identity theft, in a breach, or simply by mistake. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
18 years ago, Tom and Sarah Joyner started Joyner Homes in Greenfield, and to date, they've built hundreds of homes across central Indiana. The homes they build are different than the cookie-cutter houses you see today. They build homes that have the character like the homes of yesterday, but have modern features, character-rich features, exposed wood beams, stone fireplaces, custom build-ins, and smart design. Building a new home doesn't have to be a headache. Joyner Homes will build you a truly unique, beautiful home. Visit JoynerHomes.com.
Our patient's most common regret statement? I just wish I would have done this sooner.
Find out more at AdventKnows.com, because breathing well will help you live better.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Absolute Comfort, your American Standard air dealer serving central Indiana.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
My name is Jason Hammer. Jeff Boggs filling in for Big Nige today. This music rings a bell, doesn't it?
It does. It really does. That sounds like Paul Schaefer.
The old Late Show band right there. Paul Schaefer and the gang. When I attended a Letterman show as a Ball State student, which I think it's almost a law. If you go to Ball State, you're interested in communications, you got to make the pilgrimage to go see Dave. That was the one thing about the show that I didn't anticipate, how much the band rocks.
Well, they play. I mean, yeah, they play through the whole show. They were incredibly talented. My goodness, you talk about Tom Bones Malone, Will Lee, Felicia. Like, you know, it was a great band, and Paul was just phenomenal. I was actually lucky enough to write a few songs with him.
Really?
When we had the Indianapolis show. We flew out the audience from Indianapolis, and I wrote a song with him called "Hey Indianapolis." It was awesome.
How was Biff? What kind of dude was Biff?
It was absolutely who you thought he was. Like how he was on stage, he was, off the air. So he was great.
The reason we're bringing up Letterman stuff, in addition to Jeff being a former employee there, it was on this date, 39 years ago, 1985. The very first top 10 list appeared on Late Night with David Letterman, The Late Show, 39 years ago today. And the topic was the top 10 things that almost rhyme with peas.
Oh, my goodness. I wonder how that went over. I really want to watch it because I'm sure people are like, okay, maybe. Who knew that for the next 20 years there'd be a top 10 list, 5 nights a week? My favorite top 10 list of all time, the title was Top 10 Body Parts or Van Pattens. And it was just genius. It was wonderful because number one was, of course, Dick.
Right.
But it was great.
Dick Van Patten, of course.
Of course. We had a great, I remember this on the finale of Seinfeld. The big show, everyone's going to watch Seinfeld that night. So Dave did a top 10 list where it was things I can say tonight because no one's watching because we were on CBS. I came up with one, and I took Dave's office number, 212-975-5307, not in use anymore. But I took that number, and I said, my phone number is, and I gave out his number, and they actually put it on air, but at the last second, Dave switched out his number with my office number.
Oh, wow.
For the next 3 days, and we heard all through the weekend, you couldn't hang my phone up without it ringing, and they finally had to disconnect the phone.
What was the process of putting together the top 10 list? What was that like?
Well, for a writer, for myself, I would take the bus in from Hoboken, and the first thing I would do is go through the New York Post, look for headlines, think of something that could possibly be a top 10 list.
Pre-internet days.
Oh, heck yeah. The New York Post had ink that didn't smudge on your hands, so I always bought that. And then we would have a meeting at 10:30 a.m., and people would pitch. There were 12, 13 writers. Everyone would pitch ideas for a top 10 topic. The head writer would bring them to Dave, and then we'd find out at 11 what the topic was. And at that point, every writer had to come up with 20, 30, 40, and submit them. So, there was a lot to choose from. But if Dave was in a really bad mood, you'd get another memo saying, hurry, more top 10s by 1:30. So it was always a process.
Jeff Boggs filling in for Big Nige today. We've got news from Amazon. Amazon is demanding that its corporate employees return back to the office 5 days a week. I didn't know they hadn't gone back yet. Is this still a COVID thing? Is this a work from home thing? Because I guarantee you the folks that are out there delivering or getting everything ready for shipping, they've been in the office 5 days a week at Amazon.
It kind of reminds me of when Elon Musk fired 90% of Twitter and nothing changed. I wonder if at some point people are like, okay, certain jobs, you have to be there in person, but a whole bunch of other jobs, why are people driving? Why are we clogging the streets? So the fact that Amazon is making their employees come back leads me to believe they really need people in the office.
Remember the hysteria when Elon fired everybody at Twitter? It might not survive the weekend. Oh my God, that's going to shut down. He's wasted his money.
Wouldn't it be great, though, if Trump wins in November, hires Elon to do that with our government? That would be fantastic.
Oh, I'm here for that. Speaking of Amazon, though, seems like only yesterday, Jeff, that Big Nige and I started a letter writing campaign to Jeff Bezos. Because if you remember, Indianapolis was on that short list for the second Amazon headquarters. Okay. So we thought we would not only pitch the city of Indianapolis, but slander some of the other cities that were on the list. And this was the letter that I wrote about Columbus, Ohio. Dear Jeff Bezos, thank you so much for making Indianapolis one of your finalists for your new second headquarters. We think Indy is a great choice, much better than some other cities on your list, like Columbus, Ohio. In the time it took me to say the words Columbus, Ohio, 3 Ohio State football players have broken into your car. Look to your left, and now look to your right. Chances are they're both big Buckeye fans, and they both have felonies. True. I don't claim to be a marketing expert, but it's not a good look when the best thing you can say about your city is, we're just a few hours away from Cleveland. Columbus, Ohio is the type of city that makes everyone in America say, thank God I don't live there. And here's a fun fact about Columbus. It's the only city in the history of the program Dateline NBC to catch a predator that they went to multiple times. True. Now, I'm not saying that everyone in Columbus is a pervert, but they lead the nation in sales of bagged candy and unmarked windowless white vans. Thanks so much for your time. Sincerely, the Hammer and Nigel Show. Thought it was a very stern letter.
I think it's great. I've always, I have family who lives in Ohio and some around the Columbus area. I've always thought it's like the Frank Stallone. It's like, it just never totally made sense to me. It seems okay, but boring.
It's the Frank Stallone of the Midwest. How is that not on their license plates?
Right.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Whether it's the good food or the friendly mood, you can count on Indiana to never lose when it comes to tailgating. And we want to see you at every game. That's why Hubler's got you covered with the best warranty around. So kick off the season in a Hubler quality pre-owned vehicle. Choose from over 2,000 Chevys, Fords, GMCs, Buicks, Nissans, Acuras, Mazdas, Hondas, and many more. All makes and models. Certified. Luxury. Even the hard-to-find ones. Every Hubler Q-certified vehicle is covered by a 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty and includes a 128-point vehicle inspection, plus a free Carfax history report. Keep the tradition alive, knowing Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles.
Hubler's got you covered.
Visit drivehubler.com or any of our 12 locations.
Cover me!
Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
Cindy Carrasco has spent a career holding the powerful accountable. As Indiana's Inspector General and Director of the State Ethics Commission, Cindy fought waste, fraud, and abuse wherever she found it. Cindy also combated wrongdoing in state government, which meant standing up and doing the right thing even if it wasn't popular. Now, as our state senator, Cindy Carrasco continues to fight on behalf of all Hoosiers by improving the quality of our children's education, providing tax relief for everyone, and working to make our communities safe by getting law enforcement the resources they need to fight crime, violence, and keep fentanyl away from our families. It's why Cindy has been endorsed by the Indiana Fraternal Order of Police, State Police Alliance, and the Professional Firefighters of Indiana. Because they know that Cindy has their back, and we know she has ours. Vote for more government transparency, better schools, lower taxes, and safer streets. Vote Cindy Carrasco for State Senate.
Paid for by Cindy for Senate.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
Hey, this is Malia. We often get asked when is the best time to buy, and the answer is today, not tomorrow. With rising utility costs, rising product costs, and missed opportunity costs, which you could be saving with a high-efficiency system. Give us a call today to schedule your free in-depth estimate, 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What he thinks could solve the problem, mostly sunny at 85 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. Nothing to be concerned with when you check the radar, though. A 61 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:33. Indianapolis Fraternal Order of Police President Rick Snyder spoke today about a shortage of officers in the force.
Many neighborhoods have gone without coverage, and more officers have been attacked, shot at, rammed with vehicles, and other such violence.
Snyder says officers deserve better pay. They also need shifts that are more favorable to the hours they're currently working. It even says attacks on officers need to stop. More communication devices exploded today in Lebanon.
According to Lebanon's health ministry, at least 9 people have been killed and 300 injured in this newest round of explosions. Today, it's reportedly handheld radios exploding. Yesterday, it was pagers. According to Reuters, Hezbollah purchased the radios about 5 months ago. That's about the same time that they got the pagers that exploded yesterday.
Fox's Nate Foy says Hezbollah is blaming Israel for the explosions. Vice President Kamala Harris says she would like to help out first-time homebuyers.
It is part of my perspective that let's just do the work of giving first-time homebuyers a $25,000 down payment assistance. Let them get their foot in the door.
Harris is speaking at the Congressional Hispanic Caucus Institute's 47th Annual Leadership Conference in Washington today. Indiana ranks low in wage growth, and investing in education is one way to improve that.
I'm Ryan Hedrick. Education is the key to a strong economy, so says the Democratic nominee for Indiana Governor Jennifer McCormick, who adds that we must have a healthy and educated consumer.
Because if we're unhealthy, we're going to struggle. But we need to make sure that we are getting those wages up, that we are empowering our rural areas where some of that suppression is happening.
With WIBC's Tony Katz, she adds that when healthcare costs go up and wages go down, we're in a tough spot.
The average price for a gallon of gas you're paying in Indiana today, $3.14, according to GasBuddy.com. That's about 5 cents below the national average. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:35.
Hey, listen, are you a 50-year-old person looking for term life insurance? Then you need to talk to Bob. Bob specializes in helping people find $1 million or more of term life insurance for a couple of $100 a month. Look, you need to know there's a price war in the term life insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call Bob, and he'll shop and see how much money he can save you. Look, this could be the last term life insurance policy you ever have. Your rates are guaranteed for the next 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rates for the next 20 years. And if you're a smoker or your health is not perfect, Bob has great rates for you too. So for $1 million of term life insurance coverage for a couple of $100 a month, call Bob right now. 800-890-5075. 800-890-5075. 800-890-5075. That's 800-890-5075. Paid for by Term Direct.
With traffic at 3:36, what are you looking at, Matt Bear?
Harrison, I'm looking at inbound 65. It is stop and go. It's heavy and slow from MLK to Meridian Planet. On the south side, eastbound 465, starting to drag from Kentucky Avenue over to the White River. North side, eastbound 465, stop and go traffic from Westfield Boulevard to the White River. Traffic sponsored by Suburban Indie Home and Outdoor Living Show. The Suburban Indie Home and Outdoor Living Show at Grand Park, featuring over 200 exhibitors, September 20th through the 22nd. Tickets are only $7 at suburbanindieshows.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Thank you, Matt. And here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Mostly sunny skies expected for the day today. Another dry afternoon, low humidity with highs near 88. Mainly clears tonight, comfortably cool with lows near 61. I'm Wish TV Storm Tracking meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
1, 2, 3, let's go! You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
You may have heard the news a little bit earlier, but blowing up pagers of terrorists, that's so yesterday. All the cool kids today are blowing up terrorists with walkie-talkies. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show. I'm Jason Hammer. Jeff Boggs is here. And listen, Israel has not came out and said this was us, but they also have not said that it wasn't them. I think this is fantastic. I don't know if this makes me the bad guy or not, but when terrorists have their cranks blown off, an angel gets its wings.
It's really an exciting story because you think about the technology being used and you're like, man, if we had this in the 90s, the entire crack epidemic could have been prevented. You know, exploding pagers, it never would have happened. So I don't know why someone didn't think of this earlier, but it's very impressive by the people who aren't claiming responsibility.
Right. And today it's been walkie-talkies. Couple people killed, more than 100 injured after walkie-talkies detonated in a fresh wave of explosions. And you're probably asking yourself, okay, why is it walkie-talkies and pagers? Because that's what these terrorist scumbags are using so they can not have a cell phone trail.
Isn't it crazy that this story plays totally differently in Indiana and across the Midwest than it does in Michigan and Minnesota right now? Because you don't know who the good guys are. And so for us, obviously, the terrorists are the bad guys. But there's a whole bunch of voters in Michigan who think totally different than us. And it's really scary.
The memes have been fantastic about this. The pager showing the 72 virgins, you know, that's been fantastic. But, man, you're right. Had this happened in the 90s, the whole adolescence of our nation would be blown up. Because I, along with pretty much everybody else my age, for whatever reason, thought we had to have a pager. So when you're not driving and you're going somewhere, if somebody absolutely needs you, they'll know where you're at, and you can get there 30 minutes later.
And just think about all of the duck face photos that women began taking 10 years ago and posting on social media would have been prevented with this. So I guess it's kind of a win, but who knows?
I mean, joking aside, that is some next level hardcore stuff from Israel. To find out, and maybe they were the ones that distributed this stuff. Who knows? Like maybe they were the ones that were passing out the pagers and walkie-talkies saying, oh, we're 100% not Israelis. And these idiots take it to blow them up with it, to blow up a terrorist. I'm here for it.
And it's some next level Jason Bourne stuff too. You think about the preparation that had to go into this. You know, they knew that they were ordering. From what I hear, Hezbollah felt as though someone was spying on them and breaking into their communication. So they decided to revamp their system and go with pagers. And somehow Mossad found that out and was able to intercept the shipment of the 1,500 pagers or something. Next thing you know, nuts getting blown off. So crazy stuff.
On the next edition of How Have You Injured Your Crotch, which is a normal feature on this program, Jeff, I'm hoping somebody calls in saying they were overseas, they had a pager on, next thing you know, bada bing, bada boom, Big Jim and the twins are spread out on the floor. This is big news here. The United States will host leaders from around the world to discuss the future of AI. Now, the Biden administration is planning a 2-day global AI summit in San Francisco coming up in November. Already, the lawmakers in California have eliminated the use of AI for campaign usage, campaign propaganda, or even, I think, parody use, which is something we do quite a bit around here. So if you like the AI bits we do from time to time, enjoy them now, because I'm willing to bet there's going to be some sort of regulation on this stuff coming up sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I would think so, because really at some point, you know, when I see what was it yesterday? Hillary Clinton and P. Diddy having an interview back in 2016 where someone is obviously doing Hillary's voice and P. Diddy's voice. I don't know how much longer we can do that, especially when you think about what people believe today and what that could lead to.
You know who's been really hurt by the rise of AI? Impressionists. Because there's no more need for the guy that can do an awesome impression anymore when you can just get the software and make the person sound and say whatever you want and find funny.
Right, and also songwriters. I mean, you know, country music, basically, you just put in beer, truck, bros.
Oh, Allison, please find the mix that we had yesterday. One of my favorite websites, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I thought you would enjoy this, is There I Ruined It, where this amazing group of writers take certain songs, mix them together, so you hate it. So if you're somebody that hates current bro country, like Luke Bryan or whatever, and sure, I know you do hate Luke Bryan.
I despise him, yeah.
This is what every bro country song sounds like to people who hate bro country.
Truck, jeans, beer, girl, creek, boots, truck, tan legs, train, dog, beer, Dixie cup. Got a beer in my beer and a Chevy in my truck. Got a dog at the wheel, cut off jeans, truck. Dirt road, bike road, beer, moonlight, red, white, and blue, girl, Friday night.
That's it, right?
That's okay, but what's the difference between a country hit and that song? They're really not that different right now.
Got a beer in my beer and a Chevy in my truck. The dog at the wheel, cut off jean shorts.
Is that worse, though, than Luke Bryan's song, Country Girl, Shake It For Me? I don't know.
That's his encore. That's what he rides off into the sunset with at concerts.
Oh, who likes that guy? I just don't get it.
So the big AI summit is going to happen in San Francisco coming up in November. And again, they might ban AI, they might not, but as long as it's here, let's have some fun with it. Here now to share thoughts on Nigel not being here and Jeff Boggs filling in for Nigel, friend of the show, AI Tucker Carlson.
Oh, would you look at that? Nigel is not here today. Let me guess, that fat, red-faced piece of Liston trash called in sick because he's been drinking too much. How many times is he going to quit and start again? Nigel and Indy Mayor Joe Hogsett should hang out. They are both worthless, lazy, and slur their speech. They both ramble on and on. And did I mention they both have red faces and cough a lot? Yeah, that seems super healthy. No red flags there.
Right.
Hogsett and Nigel's blood type is half B positive and half dark eyes vodka, allegedly. And look who Hammer brought in to be his co-host today, Jeff Boggs. Who the hell is Jeff Boggs? Is that the guy that used to be the side piece of Monica Lewinsky? Is that the guy that goes by not Kenny Rogers on Twitter? I have a $5 bill that says Jeff Boggs is the kind of guy that Letterman would make fun of when he wasn't in the room. The kind of guy that says, you know, Keith Olbermann makes some valid points. All of you disgust me. A.I. Tucker, out.
A.I. Tucker Carlson, ladies and gentlemen.
I like the out. All of you disgust me.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Consumer warning. Stay away from stablecoin Tether. Tether is a cryptocurrency company with a so-called stablecoin called USDT. It's supposed to be backed one for one by the US dollar. But Tether's murky past exposes Americans to outsized risk, shady practices, false claims, legal entanglements, deliberate lack of transparency. The United Nations called Tether the preferred choice for regional cyber fraud operations and money launderers. Tether has never published an independent audit of its finances and operations. Financial rating company S&P gave Tether a high-risk rating, a major red flag. Warning: owning a stablecoin that isn't independently audited comes with enormous risk. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Steer clear of stablecoin Tether. Visit tetherwarning.com to learn more. Paid for by Consumers Research.
At Shane Company, our engagement rings are the perfect blend of design, function, and beauty, each one a unique work of art. We meticulously craft our bridal jewelry in our jeweler's workshop to the highest standards, expertly setting each diamond by hand, ensuring the structure is perfectly balanced, and sizing everything for the perfect fit. Shane Company offers a free unmatched lifetime warranty because your engagement ring is an heirloom that was made to last. You'll cherish your ring today, tomorrow, and forever. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Now through Monday, it's our Made in the USA Labor Day sale. Lazy Boy recliners start at $3.99. Queen mattresses start at $3.99. And sofas start at $4.99. Interest-free financing available, free delivery, and cash discounts on select items. Plus, low price guarantee on Tempur-Pedic and Stearns & Foster mattresses. Sale ends Monday only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Attention all Hoosiers, a historically important election is headed our way. The time to prepare for the election is now. Are you registered to vote? Do you have a plan to vote? The Indiana Secretary of State's office wants to remind you, registering to vote or updating your registration is fast, easy, and can be done online at indianavoters.com. You must be registered 30 days before Election Day, so get registered and get out to vote. This message is sponsored by the Indiana Secretary of State's office.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first-time Nana moments.
Welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't-miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Indiana adventure is near. Come to Grant County this year.
Ready for some high-energy excitement and fun? Head to Jonesboro, Indiana, September 26th through 29th for the Jonesboro River Run. Amazing stunt bike riders, a cool bike show, fun field events, cool light show, and rockin' live bands all weekend long. Get details at showmegrantcounty.com. Grant County, Indiana. Classic cool.
Indiana adventure is near. Come to Grant County this year.
Indiana Digital Alternative School is a flexible online alternative high school with a supportive team of teachers and counselors focused on ensuring students graduate with an accredited high school diploma. With personalized career coaching and work-based learning opportunities, INDAS is now enrolling grades 9 through 12 and 100% tuition-free for Indiana students. Learn more at k12.com/INDAS. Indiana Digital Alternative School, helping Indiana students earn their diploma and reach their potential.
Chris Wedekin here. Go to AbsoluteComfort.org for a free second opinion so we can keep you absolutely comfortable every day, all day.
Absolute Comfort is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
There is still time to get a patio this season. Get on the books now for a patio this fall. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts, changing the way Indy thinks about concrete.
Head to the WIBC contest page and enter for your chance to win 2 tickets to see Trans-Siberian Orchestra's brand new show on Thursday, December 19th at Gamebridge Fieldhouse. And while supplies last, you can purchase tickets for just $49.99 plus fees.
All right, Matt Bear, what's going on?
East Side. Good evening, Lawrence. Northbound 465 at East 71st Street. That's a stall in the middle of the interstate, blocking the center lane, and traffic is stop and go back to Penn Pike. Inbound 65 stop and go traffic MLK to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70 slows from Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. And northbound 65 south side stop and go traffic Southport Road up to Thompson Road. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. There is still time to get a patio this fall with Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. No subcontractors ever big enough to service, small enough to care. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
86 right now at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
If I was your boyfriend, never let You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
My name is Jason Hammer. Jeff Boggs is filling in for Big Nige. Coming up here in just a little bit. Boss Hogsett, the IMPD. What's happening with their police cars? And no, we're not talking about these morons on the street throwing bricks at them. We've got an update on that coming up. But first, Jeff, you said you wanted to address what you think is a hole in our show.
Yes, and you know, I'm a big Hammer and Nigel fan, and I know it's the place to go for politics. It's the place to go for comedy. It's the place to go for sports and news.
Thank you.
I think you are missing a very important segment of the population, a place to go for relationship advice.
Okay, all right.
And so what I would love to do is, Allison, maybe you could join in with this. For all the ladies out there listening, I thought today would be a fun day to discuss signs your boyfriend may be a massive tool.
Okay.
I can get on board with this.
Is a massive tool, not has said.
Is a massive tool. Nothing about size or girth.
Got it.
These are characteristics, personality traits that maybe serve as warning signs to people out there hoping to find Mr. Right.
Okay, and you can jump in the YouTube chat if you're listening, or tweet at us at Hammer and Nigel at Not Kenny Rogers.
All right, Allison, why don't you go ahead and you'll just give us a yes or no. Does this mean your boyfriend may be a massive tool?
Okay.
First, prefers Pepsi over Coke.
No.
Really? Okay, I would mark that as massive tool, but you're saying no.
No, not necessarily, no.
So you're a Coke guy. Just want to
straight Coke. If I'm at a restaurant and they go, "Is Pepsi okay?" I leave.
Really?
Yeah. So
okay.
Okay, understood. Has never missed an episode of The Bachelorette.
Yes.
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 That if you're dating a guy who's never missed an episode of The Bachelorette, he's a massive tool.
Yes. You're not dating a guy, then, let's be honest.
Exactly. All right, here's an interesting one. Unable to quote more than 5 lines from Christmas Vacation.
Ooh.
Oh.
5 lines or more.
I would say yes.
Massive tool?
Yes.
What do you think, Hammer?
Yeah, if you can't quote more than 5 lines, then not only are you a massive tool, you should go to Guantanamo.
Agreed. Thank you very much. And I'm hoping that this is helping those out there looking, for that perfect partner.
Right.
Here's one for you. Recently had his nuts blown off by an exploding pager.
Oh, yes.
I would say yes.
That's a tool. That's a Hezbollah tool.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm in favor of that.
Moving on, and this one is really important to me. Can sing an entire Luke Bryan song at karaoke without looking at the words.
I'm going to go with yes.
You agree that would make him a massive tool.
There's possibilities, yes.
Now, you go to Nashville quite a bit, and you told us, like, multiple times you've been in his bar.
Yes.
You've had fun at his bar.
Oh, I'm not saying I don't have fun at his bar, but it's something about Country Girl Shake It for me when a man confidently sings that and he thinks he's into it. It just makes my skin crawl a little bit. Now, some other girls love that, but for me, not as much.
But we're all in agreement. That would make your boyfriend a massive tool.
If you go to karaoke night and you choose to perform that wearing really tight, super tight, skinny jeans, it's time to look elsewhere.
Yep.
Jeans with designs on the back pockets. Right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, that's horrible. Okay, let's move on to another. And again, I hope this is helping people out there. Accused of sexual harassment by multiple women while serving as chief of staff for Joe Hogshead.
Yeah.
Yep. Although there are some folks in the mayor's office right now going, whoa.
But to be clear, that makes you a massive tool.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, to be fair, most of the folks in that office are tools long before any of the sexual harassment stuff took place. I like to think that we were calling Joe Hogshead a tool before it was cool.
Okay, I enjoyed that. That's great. Here's a great one for Indiana. Thinks the movie Hoosiers was overrated.
Oh, come on. That's so sad. Yeah, that's a tool.
That's not even just a tool. That's sacrilegious at some point, correct?
There was a former news anchor in this city that no longer works, that used to troll us all the time, and he hated Hoosiers. So I'd like to remind everybody, we're still here. We're rated #1, and he's at home on the couch wearing designer skinny jeans.
I love it. That's great.
We got time for one more.
One more. Last one. His father is the current president of the United States.
I'm going to go on a limb and say yes.
Where's Hunter? Where is he? So let us know if you agree with the list that Jeff brought to the table or the criticisms that Allison may or may not have had at Hammer and Nigel.
This Saturday, the Garden Center is bursting with great fall decor, pumpkins, mums, and everything fall. Visit the garden shop for great giveaways, enter to win prizes, hot cider, and more. Local partners, Pearl Coffee Company, will be serving great seasonal delights in the morning, and Mallow Run Winery will have their classic starting at 11. All week, 20 to 50% off container nursery items and 50% off pottery. Miss M's on State Road 135, south of Whiteland Road in Bargersville.
If you've ever put off dealing with plumbing problems, you don't have to live that way. Maybe you tried to fix a leaky faucet yourself, or you're wishing that slow drain is going to magically start flowing again. Well, it's not. Stop putting things off and call Lance and his local team at LD Smith Plumbing. They'll give you honest advice at a fair price, and they leave your home even better than they found it. That's ldsmithplumbing.com, and tell them your second favorite plumber in the whole world, Denny Smith, sent you. ldsmithplumbing.com.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But D.C. politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Truck drivers, it's time to drive for a company that values your time. At Midwest Logistics Systems, you'll get home every day and have a predictable Monday through Friday schedule with occasional Saturdays. Plus, you'll enjoy the convenience of driving out and back routes and hauling no-touch, mostly drop-and-hook freight. MLS drivers also earn performance and safety bonuses and have access to a comprehensive benefits package. Explore our selection of local dedicated driving jobs and apply today at MidwestLogisticsSystems.com.
Can you hear me?
So can your customers. Get your message heard. Text business to 71007 now. Get results with Radio 1.
Earn, save, grow. It's time your money works harder and goes further with a Stockyards Bank and Trust CD. For a limited time, earn 5.15 annual percentage yield with our 5-month CD special. Proudly serving our communities since 1904. Visit any of our 5 Indianapolis area locations or syb.com/IndyCD today and experience the Stockyards Bank difference. 10,000 minimum balance required. Limited time offer. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Is your pet a digging enthusiast, an escape artist, or a counter surfer? Invisible Fence brand has you covered. For the wannabe landscaper, we've got a solution to keep them active but not destructive. For the escape artist, our personalized pet fences keep them safe and sound at home. Counter surfer? No problem. We know how to keep cheese thieves at bay. Invisible Fence brand. Tailor-made solutions for your pet, your yard, and your needs. Visit invisiblefence.com today.
Your local news coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
Too soon to know the impact. On Lisa Brady, Fox News. That bottom line from the White House after a second day of exploding electronics in Lebanon as the push for a ceasefire in Gaza continues.
Sadly, we aren't any closer to that now than we were even a week ago. So it's difficult to see any immediate impact of these incidents.
National Security Communications Advisor John Kirby declining to confirm reports that Israel is behind the explosions, blamed for more than 20 deaths and thousands of injuries in Lebanon. The Israeli military has not claimed responsibility, but today announced a new phase of war focused on the fight with Hezbollah militants. No endorsement from the Teamsters, the union just confirming it will not back Vice President Harris or former President Trump in this year's election, saying neither candidate had sufficient support from members or made serious enough commitments to ensure the interests of working people are always put before big business. This despite internal Teamsters polling showing a 27-point advantage for Trump, 58 to 31%. The Fed cuts a key interest rate by a half point, larger than its usual quarter-point move in the first cut since 2020, though Fed Chair Jerome Powell stops short of declaring victory in the long inflation fight.
We are not on any preset course. We will continue to make our decisions meeting by meeting.
The central bank expects another half-point reduction this year and 4 cuts next year. Wall Street rallying and then wavering. The Dow down 103 at the bell. Disgraced movie producer Harvey Weinstein just pleading not guilty to a new sex crime charge in New York. This as he awaits retrial on an overturned 2020 conviction. Weinstein was also convicted in a California case. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He wants the problem fixed. 86 degrees, mostly sunny downtown. Your radar's clear when you give it a look. Tonight's low drops to the lower 60s, about 61. I'm Harrison Silcox from Moss Roofing. Here's what's trending at 4:02. Indianapolis Fraternal Order of Police President Rick Snyder spoke today about a shortage of police officers on IMPD staff.
Many neighborhoods have gone without coverage, and more officers have been attacked, shot at, rammed with vehicles, and other such violence.
He wants officers to be better paid, have better hours on the job, and he also says the attacks on police need to stop. Some of those attacks happened during street takeovers this past weekend that you might have heard about. Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears announced 9 people have been charged in those takeovers. Most of those charges include criminal recklessness and resisting law enforcement. A man in Marion County was convicted of killing someone else in August of 2022. John Hayrick reports.
Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears said Wednesday morning that Christopher Rawlings was convicted after a 2-day jury trial. It was on August 29th of 2022 when police say Rawlings was at a home on the south side of Indianapolis where he and Aaron Flora would help a friend fix both cars and mopeds. A woman asked Rawlings if she could speak with Flora alone, and that's when police say he stabbed Flora in the neck and ran away. But with the help of surveillance video and witnesses at the scene, Rawlings was eventually identified and caught. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Denying your children the education they deserve would be a step backward. That's according to Jennifer McCormick, the Democratic nominee for Indiana governor, who says the state lacks transparency in the school choice admissions process.
I've heard so many stories across the state of Indiana about, we went to enroll and they wouldn't take us. And so, if that was one story, maybe, but it's several times and I continue to hear it.
Talking with WIBC's Tony Katz last month, McCormick announced her own education plan that focuses on several things, including early childhood care, universal pre-K, also school accountability, and better pay for teachers. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
Back to school season arrives in Indiana. It's time to focus on school supplies and those home projects you've been delaying. Don't worry. With Moss Roofing, you're not alone. They're here to help with your roofing and siding, making sure your home is a safe place for math homework each and every day. Choose Moss Roofing to transform your home's exterior with top-notch James Hardy siding, protecting your home from those Indiana storms and enhancing your curb appeal. Their inspections are always free, and they'll even give you a 3D design link so you can visualize the makeover before they even begin. Talk to Moss Roofing today, a second-generation family business based right here in Central Indiana. For a job done right every single time. I love when they do that. MossRoofing.com, 317-747-3665. 317-747-3665. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. 747-3665 or online at Moss, M-O-S-S, MossRoofing.com.
With traffic on the 5s at 4:05, what's going on, Matt Bear?
Harrison, we're looking at the south side. Northbound 65 is delayed before Southport Road up to Edgewood Avenue. Stop and go traffic there. We are moving. Northeast side, Lawrence, northbound 465 at Fall Creek. That is a breakdown blocking the center lane at Fall Creek, and traffic is stop and go beyond Penn Pike. Inbound 65, stop and go before MLK to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70 slow from Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. This is a crash Southport Road at Wellingshire Boulevard. Traffic sponsored by Grand Appliance. Shop Grand Appliance for expert advice. Thousands of in-stock appliance options, fast delivery, and professional installation. Learn more at grandappliance.com or your local Grand Appliance showroom. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Thank you, Matt. And here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Mostly sunny skies expected for the day today. Another dry afternoon, low humidity with highs near 88. Mainly clears tonight, comfortably cool with lows near 61. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
My name is Jason Hammer. Big Nige is out. He is suffering from anal leakage. But lucky for you, Jeff Boggs is here to fill in. Thank you for sitting in today, man.
Wait, Nigel, does he know that you say things like that? I mean, is he okay with it?
He's going to get a text message here in the next 5 minutes from somebody saying, "So, heard you had anal leakage." He's had everything. Like, the dude takes so many days off, I've run out of diseases. There was one day where I just said he fell off a cliff and he died on impact, and he'll be back tomorrow. So, big news earlier today from the IMPD, along with one Boss Hogsett. They announced that the police cars will have in-car camera systems. Those are going to be installed in the IMPD vehicles. So the cameras now are worn by the officers, which I believe is still going to continue. But now there will be in-car camera systems. According to a new release, quote, "This is a significant step toward enhancing transparency, accountability, and safety for both officers and residents." And Jeff, it's been my experience here in Indy, since they went to the camera system a number of years ago, this has been a lifesaver for the police, because so many people thought, these awful cops, they're out there just beating people and shooting people and killing people. There's no accountability. But when you see what actually happens compared to what just gets said on social media, these body cameras, they've bailed a lot of officers out of a lot of problems.
Right. They always say, you know, if you really want to see what a police officer goes through, just do a ride-along. Just do an evening ride-along one time, and you have a totally different respect for the job they do. Is it 100% perfect? No, but is anyone 100% perfect? But I agree with you. These cameras, they can only help. And I wish that we had cameras in voting locations this November, because that's what I'm really nervous about. And I think that I think we did have cameras 4 years ago, and we saw things that still haven't been explained. But for the police, I think it's great for them. Anything that keeps them safer is okay with me.
And the transparency thing is key, because take a story like Drayshawn Reed a couple of years ago. The story at first was this poor, innocent kid was gunned down by the bloodthirsty IMPD. But once you actually review the body camera, this lunatic was firing at the officer, trying to kill him. So, yeah, I'm all in favor of the transparency. It's a great thing for the officers. Just make sure you turn them on. Don't be that guy that does not turn your cameras on, because then nobody can save you. It sure as hell isn't going to be Ryan Mears or Boss Hogsett. So you know which side they're going to pick. Think about who got paid in the Drayshawn Reed story. They're not going to pick you if you're an officer. So make sure that camera is turned on for transparency.
And speaking of turning on cameras, I hope that they keep the cell cameras on for P. Diddy this week too. Unlike the people for Jeffrey Epstein, because otherwise we will never see Hillary shimmying down from the ceiling with a knife in her mouth.
You know, there's no bail for Puffy, for Diddy, for P. Papa Diddy, for Sean Combs, whatever the hell you want to call him. No bail. So he's in the joint right now. And somebody sent me a meme last night, and I retweeted it. The 90s rap wars have gone full circle, because there's a chance right now a naked Suge Knight is washing the hair of Puff Daddy. The West Coast and the East Coast coming together.
Man, I'll tell you, the idea of a naked Suge Knight
pretty frightening, isn't it?
Terrifying. But yeah, P. Diddy's in trouble. And I saw today he's begging the judge to be released to house arrest. And he has promised he won't have any women over. Boy, like any of us would get that luxury.
Did you ever meet Puff Daddy in your days?
I did. At the time, I was working on the Tom Green Show in New York City. And Tom walked in my office one day and he goes, "Hey, Puff Daddy just called and said he wants to have a meeting. Do you want to go with me?" And I was like, sure. We walked down to 44th Street. P. Diddy had this big complex on 44th Street. I forget what it's called, like P. Diddy's Hits Emporium or something. And we walk through the front door. You give them the name. They buzz you in. You walk through the front door. There's 4 dudes there with guns inside. So this is during the rap wars. And Tom and I kind of, I think, embraced. And we're like, oh, this could be it. And and so they waved us in through another door where there were more people with guns. And then finally,
so if the first wave couldn't handle what was coming through, the second wave was ready.
Yeah, and I don't think, Tom's white, pasty, and Canadian, and I'm me, so I don't think anyone was that concerned. But we finally went into a big room, and it's a massive, almost like a ballroom. And there are like 10 stations all around the room. People were doing photo shoots. People were displaying fashion, for his Sean John. And Tom, the lady goes, "Go ahead and sit over there on the couch." And so Tom and I sat on the couch, and we watched Puff Daddy go from station to station. And he finally came around, and he goes, "Tom, I'm so happy to meet you." Tom was on the cover of the Rolling Stone at the time.
This was at the height of Tom Green mania.
Tom was one of the hottest things going. And P. Diddy goes, "So happy to meet you, man." And Tom's like, "Oh, thanks, you too, Puff Daddy." And then I went to shake his hand, and he didn't even look at me. And so, P. Diddy then says to Tom, "I don't have much time, but what I want to do is give you $7 or $10 million, and we make a movie. How does that sound?" And Tom's like, "Sounds good to me." And then at the end, P. Diddy, who had a very famous party called the White Party out in the Hamptons every year, DiCaprio, Beyonce, the biggest names went to this party. P. Diddy goes, "Tom, I want to invite you to my white party next weekend." And Tom's like, "Thank you so much. That's great." That's when I decided to step in and get my moment. And I go, "Puffy, do you mind if I come?" And he actually looked at me for the first time, and he moved his sunglasses down, and he goes, "No, man, you can't come."
All right, so Allison, we're going to need a ruling here. Who got dissed harder by Diddy? Nigel at the American Music Awards. "Excuse me, Diddy, can I get a pick?" And then like the record scratch, he slowly turned around and told him no. Or Tom Green being invited to the all-white party, but not Kenny Rogers getting the Nigel treatment.
I think Jeff had a little harder. I mean, he had to stand there for a while and to be ignored.
And he actually talked. He actually said, "No, man."
No. No explanation. Just did he just walk off at that point?
That was it. That was the end of it. And we walked back up Broadway, and that was the end of my day.
You know what? You tried. You tried.
I did. Thank you.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, but maybe it was a blessing it didn't go.
But also, what was wrong with me? I think I had a Pacers shirt on, which maybe rubbed some people the wrong way. And I don't know. I thought I would have worked well at that party, but apparently not.
Like, I love these stories. Like, because you have lived a life that I will never lead. I will never be invited to these types of places. Like, you had some big party you went to, you were telling me, out in California, and you ran into Ben Stiller, right? You had some interaction with him about the valet and the car.
Yeah, he was a jerk. We were outside of. I sound like. Speaking of tools, I sound like Mr. Hollywood Tool. But we were at Drew Barrymore's 30th birthday party in Beverly Hills.
She was married to.
She was married to Tom Green at the time, and they were dating at the time. But it was celebrity filled, and we were out waiting for our cars about 1 a.m. And I go, "Oh, Ben, hey man, nice to meet you. I'm Jeff. Love to meet the parents." And he just another one who just looks at me and he goes, "Huh."
That was it?
I think it's me at this point.
Huh. Did he have to look up at you? Because he's a little dude, right? He's a little pipsqueak, isn't he?
He was a tiny guy. He actually, like, I love his movies. It was just, obviously, the guy's a tool.
And on that note, here's Matt Bear with a look at the roads.
South side, northbound 65 after Edgewood Avenue. That is a stall blocking the right lane, causing stop-and-go traffic past Southport Road. Not quite to stop 11 Road. Looking at the northeast side, this is Lawrence, northbound 465 at Fall Creek. That is a breakdown blocking the left lane of the main part of 465, not the express lane. That's fine. Traffic on the main part is stop-and-go back to I-70. Inbound 65, stop-and-go traffic, MLK to Meridian Penn. And eastbound 70 slows Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. There's a crash Southport Road at Wellingshire Boulevard on the south side. Traffic sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Insurance offers you auto, home, and commercial auto insurance, plus a variety of business insurance options. Visit Progressive.com today. That's Progressive.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
86 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Like, I feel like I'm bothering you, Jeff, when I ask about these wild, bizarre celebrity encounters you've had in your career. You, like, during Matt Bear's traffic report, told me you've got a great Harrison Ford story.
Well, yeah, I feel like I'm always saying how horrible people are, but Harrison Ford, this is back when I was working on Letterman. I was walking down to the stage for rehearsal. Harrison Ford just gets out of a car all by himself, and he's walking in, and I held the door for him, and he doesn't know me from anyone, and he looks at me and he goes, "Could you get me a bottle of white wine?" And I go, "Yeah, of course." I'm a writer at the time, and I was bringing a script down to the stage, and I go, "Of course I can, Harrison Ford." And so I went up the street, actually bought him a bottle, or no, he gave me a $50 bill. And I went and bought him a bottle of white wine, brought it up to his dressing room. By that point, a lot of people were in the dressing room, so I just dropped it off to him, and he kind of nodded. He went down, killed it on the show. And then after the show, he's walking outside with his publicist, his agent. There's hundreds of people out on 53rd Street getting into the limousine. And I walked after him and I go, Mr. Ford, how did you enjoy the wine? And he stopped and he turned around like, Han Solo. And he goes, "That was the best white wine I've ever had."
Oh, that's awesome. In full, like, character voice.
And then it just whiffed off into the night, and it was really a special moment.
Power move by Harrison Ford. Tell you what, we need people to like the YouTube page. Go to YouTube. WIBC is streaming the show right now. There's a camera on me. There's a camera on Jeff. And we have to get over 100 likes. If we don't get over 100 likes, I've been told that this show will just be taken off the air and Keith Olbermann crying will be the replacement. So please get us over 100 likes on the YouTube page. Please. We don't want to hear Keith Olbermann. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hey, Mark Dietel is the only real estate expert I trust and recommend with the sale of my home. And hey, why not? As long as you're selling my current home, can you find me a new one to move into as well? How about Ray in Indianapolis? Ray needed to move in a hurry, so he was out the door into a new house, but left with the big problem of selling his old house with 2 mortgage payments fast approaching. Heard about Mark Dietel on our show, and he was the answer. He was ecstatic when Mark sold his home for the price they needed in just 2 days on the market.
Mark Dietel is the best, and what separates him from the competition is the guarantee. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. That is the Mark Dietel guarantee. You pick your move date, no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. Call Mark Dietel today, 755-4232. That's 317-755-4232, or go to markdietel.com. Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietel.com. Tell him Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Whether it's the good food or the friendly mood, you can count on Indiana to never lose when it comes to tailgating. And we want to see you at every game. That's why Hubler's got you covered with the best warranty around. So kick off the season in a Hubler quality pre-owned vehicle. Choose from over 2,000 Chevys, Fords, GMCs, Buicks, Nissans, Acuras, Mazdas, Hondas, and many more. All makes and models. Certified. Luxury. Even the hard-to-find ones. Every Hubler Q-certified vehicle is covered by a 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty and includes a 128-point vehicle inspection, plus a free Carfax history report. Keep the tradition alive, knowing Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles.
Hubler's got you covered.
Visit drivehubler.com or any of our 12 locations.
Cover me!
Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
Radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your foundation and damaging your home. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Indiana Foundation Service. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at indianafoundation.com.
Seems like there's more identity theft in the news every day.
Another major healthcare breach was reported today, resulting in the exposure of
1 in 4 consumers have been a victim of identity.
That's because there are endless places that could accidentally expose you to identity theft, in a breach, or simply by mistake. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Absolute Comfort, your American Standard air dealer serving Central Indiana.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Jeff Boggs in for Big Nige. Is this anything? A Florida man was arrested for illegally keeping alligators and several turtles on his property. Here's Robert Miller denying the allegations when a reporter came by.
I love wildlife. That's why I live out here in the woods.
So you don't know how the alligators got in there?
Somebody stuck them in there.
Somebody broke into my house, put the alligators in the pool, Jeff.
It's Florida, so it's something.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like this is the type of thing that happens all the time. Like, you have to wonder, is my neighbor somebody that has an alligator as a pet? or is it just some stray that happened to get onto his property?
Right. Wasn't there a guy a couple months ago who got caught trying to smuggle exotic fish into the country from Bolivia in his pants?
Yes, that is correct.
That's crazy.
And there are people that have gators as pets. The running back for the Kansas City Chiefs, the kid from Center Grove High School, Carson Steele. You know, it's well known that he has a pet alligator, and he sees it when he goes back home to see his parents.
That was a big fantasy football ad this week, so hoping he continues rushing as well as he is.
Is this anything? A McDonald's manager was not in the mood for some social media prankster trying to go viral. So this social media personality, he was doing a bit where he would show up at a McDonald's and sit down with the employees and act like he was late for the meeting, even though he doesn't work there and he doesn't know anybody. The McDonald's manager had no part of it.
Sorry, I'm late, guys. Traffic down the street.
You don't want to get throat punched right now?
Throat punched?
Step up.
Wait, why?
Get out of my restaurant.
You're gonna throat punch me?
You're funny. Get out of my restaurant.
I'm
asking you nicely. Get out of my restaurant.
You didn't ask me nicely. You said
I just asked you nicely. Get out of my...
You said I'm gonna get throat punched, though. Get your hands off me.
You're going over the line.
Wait, I'm going over the line? He put his hands on me. What are you so mad about? I get it. It's a joke, but don't put your hands on me. Don't say you're gonna throat punch me.
Private property. Get off my property.
I'm sorry, dude. I didn't mean it. Who are you calling, by the way?
That anything?
I mean, to be honest, I kind of sympathize with the whole thing. This is how I feel. I feel like I come in here and get to talk on the radio and no one's really vetted me, or the security's just like, yeah, go ahead. So I sympathize.
Everybody's armed around here, just so you know.
Is that what it is? I will say this. There's so many pranksters now on YouTube and TikTok with these things. I kind of start getting pissed off too. And so I'm on the side of the McDonald's manager. Get out of here.
I expect that kind of treatment at McDowell's, but not McDonald's. Like, I could see Cleo McDowell throwing somebody out, but a little odd that it's McDonald's. And hat tip to the 5 people that got that reference. Is this anything? Delta Airlines released a memo for new hires featuring 2 pages, all about how their employees are required to wear underwear. Other clothing guidelines include no skirts above the knee, all clothes must fit properly, we shouldn't be able to see underwear that you're wearing, but sweet mother of God, you have to be wearing underpants. Is this anything?
You know, I don't mind if my flight attendant is going commando. It never has affected me. I would hope that Spirit Airlines would take the cue from Delta and maybe ask people to stop punching each other.
Yes, that would be nice. I'll take that.
But to me, it's something. I think it's a step in the right direction.
I'm not mad either way. Like, if the flight attendant is not wearing underpants, but they're willing to bring me an extra cocktail, that's fine with me. Of all the issues I would have on an airline, whether or not the flight attendant has got on britches falls very low on my checklist.
Yeah, somehow there'll be an added fee now by Delta for flights, with underwear-clad attendants.
Last one, is this anything? Singer Justin Timberlake pled guilty to a traffic infraction. Remember, he got popped in the Hamptons when he was driving while intoxicated. That anything? JT admitting it?
Oh, man. It falls into that whole politics thing where I know he's a Biden supporter and supposedly a liberal. And
he was big into the Minnesota Freedom Fund, bailing out the rioters. It was Justin Timberlake, Steve Carell, and the ringleader was one Kamala Harris.
Yeah, and so the guy's incredibly talented. I love the song Mirrors. Justin Timberlake Mirrors, for some reason, is one of my favorite songs. But sadly, he's now turned into a douche, so to me, it's nothing.
Outside of the courthouse where he pled guilty, Justin Timberlake apologized and had this public service message.
Even if you've had one drink, don't get behind the wheel of a car. So many alternatives. Take an Uber, take a taxi, even one drink. Don't get behind the wheel of a car.
I'm bringing safety back.
Safety back.
Drinking and driving is no way to act. No. Call a cab or get the Uber app. Yeah. Oh, your lawyer, lots of jack.
Why do you sound so fuzzy?
So You're right. It's a big nothing burger.
No, it's not. But, now I wonder, that caught me off guard, that song. Was it AI or did somebody make that? I don't know.
Oh, no. When I don't have time to do the AI, we'll either perform it ourselves, find somebody else around here that can do it, and then send it to me. But you can tell when I've come up with something last minute because I'm the worst singer in the world, and I just do it myself.
That was you?
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
that was actually good.
Oh, got it. Okay. Okay.
Like somebody actually did that around the building here, one of our production guys. That's really good. But if you ever hear me singing on a track, it's either because I hate the person involved, that it's personal, or I came up with it at about 2:55 p.m. and the show starts at 3.
This would be like your Dead or Alive Bon Jovi song, right?
Yes.
Okay.
100%. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Man, I love the way my brand new Galaxy concrete garage floor looks. Those guys did an amazing job. They were in and out within a day. My old garage floor was dirty and gross and cracked, and their amazing staff came in and within a day made it look brand new. It's not epoxy, by the way. It's better and 4 times stronger. I spend a ton of time out in my garage, and my new Galaxy concrete garage floor is out of this world. Check out their website and see pictures and get a quote, galaxyconcretecoatings.com, or call their office at 317-751-9070.
At Shane Company, we'll help you design an engagement ring as unique as your love story. We have the widest selection of diamonds and gemstones for you to choose from, and you can compare them side by side right here in our store. Only at Shane Company can you sift through exquisite diamonds, rubies, and a rainbow of sapphires in a variety of shapes and sizes. We'll help you create your dream engagement ring no matter your price range. Choose the ring setting that speaks to your style, from classic to modern to vintage. We offer so many ways to personalize your ring. Pick your favorite center stone, add a decorative crown and a custom engraving, or select a perfectly preset ring that's ready to go. At Shane Company, our jewelers know how much your ring means to you. They hand-set each center stone with precision and pride in our jeweler's workshop, so you can feel confident knowing your ring is crafted with the greatest care and comes with an unmatched free lifetime warranty that lets you know we'll always be here for you. Your love story deserves to shine bright. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Pat Sullivan here for Hope Plumbing. For 17 years, my friends at Hope Plumbing have treated homes like their very own. With local owners who care deeply about this community, they put your health and safety at the forefront of their business. That's why when I need plumbing help, no matter how big or small, I only call Hope Plumbing. They care about you and your family, which is why I believe they're the very best place to take your plumbing problems. Give them a call at 641-HOPE. That's 641-HOPE or hopeplumbing.com.
Sweet chocolate reward. Sweet chocolate reward.
This is not just the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat at Walgreens. This is the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat right after receiving all their vaccines in one trip. This is the sound of treating yourself, because you protected yourself.
Stop by or schedule both your flu and COVID-19 vaccines today and grab yourself a sweet treat while you're at it. Vaccine subject to availability. State, age, and health-related restrictions may apply.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
IMPD needs more cops. 85 degrees, partly cloudy downtown. We've got a clear radar, low of 61 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:32. There are not enough police officers in Indianapolis, said NDFOP President Rick Snyder earlier this afternoon. He also says when people hear about violence in the Circle City too often, people respond by dismissing it.
We always say, well, that's happening everywhere in the nation. Well, go tell that to the mom who just lost her child at 38th and College overnight. She doesn't care what's going on in the nation. She cares what's going on in Indianapolis.
Snyder says some townships only have 2 officers patrolling the area, which makes responding to crime difficult. The Federal Reserve is cutting interest rates for the first time in over 4 years. Fed Chairman Jerome Powell.
This decision reflects our growing confidence that with an appropriate recalibration of our policy stance, strength in the labor market can be maintained in a context of moderate growth and inflation moving sustainably down to 2%.
The central bank cut rates by 0.5 point. The Fed still has their goal of lowering inflation to 2%. The Teamsters Union will not be endorsing anyone for president this time around. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal reports.
The Teamsters say in a statement there's no definitive support among members for either party nominee. That straw polls that local unions conducted between April and July indicated a majority of support went to President Biden. But after he left the race, electronic and phone polling done between July and September found a majority of Teamsters went for former President Trump. But Teamsters President Sean O'Brien, who spoke at the RNC, said neither Trump nor Vice President Harris could ensure Teamsters' interests would come before big business. The statement noted neither candidate promised they'd stay out of certain negotiations in order to prevent work stoppages, and that while Harris is on board with the PRO Act, former President Trump would not veto national right-to-work legislation. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
The Indiana Fever have one more regular season game before the playoffs Sunday. Coach Christie's side says it would be great to win a playoff game on the road and bring the series back to Indianapolis.
That's the goal, to get back here and to give these guys another opportunity to play at home in front of these amazing fans. I mean, it's been like finals basketball every night.
Before the playoffs, though, the Fever play the Washington Mystics tomorrow. Their playoff opponent also has yet to be decided. And a look at the market today, not so good. The Dow dropped by 103 to 41,503. The Nasdaq down by 54 to 17,573. The S&P 500 also down by 16 points, finishing at 5,618. Traffic and weather in 60 seconds. It's 4:34.
Cindy Carrasco has spent a career holding the powerful accountable. As Indiana's Inspector General and Director of the State Ethics Commission, Cindy fought waste, fraud, and abuse wherever she found it. Cindy also combated wrongdoing in state government, which meant standing up and doing the right thing even if it wasn't popular. Now, as our state senator, Cindy Carrasco continues to fight on behalf of all Hoosiers by improving the quality of our children's education, providing tax relief for everyone, and working to make our communities safe by getting law enforcement the resources they need to fight crime, violence, and keep fentanyl away from our families. It's why Cindy has been endorsed by the Indiana Fraternal Order of Police, State Police Alliance, and the Professional Firefighters of Indiana. Because they know that Cindy has their back, and we know she has ours. Vote for more government transparency, better schools, lower taxes, and safer streets. Vote Cindy Carrasco for State Senate.
Paid for by Cindy for Senate.
With traffic at 4:35, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison, looking at northbound 465 at Fall Creek. This is Lawrence. We have a vehicle broken down in the left lane, causing stop-and-go traffic back to I-70. We are moving. Inbound 65, stop-and-go from the White River to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70, stop-and-go, Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. This is a stall. Another breakdown on the south side. It's northbound 65 between Edgewood Avenue and 465, and the right lane is blocked. Slowing traffic past Southport Road to Stop 11 Road. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. There's still time to get a patio this fall with Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. No subcontractors ever big enough to service, small enough to care. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
This Wednesday evening, a couple of clouds might be around, but it'll still be on the mostly clear side of things. Low temperatures drop into the lower 60s, and winds will be light and variable in direction. Thursday looks to be warm and sunny again. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hey now. I'm Jason Hammer. Jeff Boggs filling in for Big Nige. Phone's blowing up over there. Is that family? Is that friends? Is that what's going on over there? Getting a lot of text messages?
Yeah, it's family, it's friends. My parents are in Montana at my brother Jake's house, and they're commenting on the show. They critique me throughout the show, which is really helpful. And my dad also is a big supporter of the IMPD, so he was excited to hear that story.
Right on. Glad to have them tuning in. I'll tell you what, we got some interesting stories from the world of law and order to discuss. So let's crank up some legal stuff. The Attorney General, Todd Rokita, the floor is yours.
Legal stuff.
Crime, punishment, judges, legal stuff.
Legal stuff.
So we were talking about Florida a little bit earlier. Another interesting story, and I'm here for this one. 11-year-old Florida boy was arrested, and the local county sheriff, Mike Chitwood from Volusia County. If you watch On Patrol Live, maybe you're familiar with Volusia County. They decided that they're done with these kids doing nonsense things. They're going to make an example out of them. So this 11-year-old was bragging about having a people to kill list and had pictures of weapons that he was going to use. So Volusia County Sheriff Mike Chitwood arrested the kid, made him do a perp walk, threw him in jail, videotaped the whole thing, put his mugshot out there on blast, and they're hoping that this is the type of thing that will make kids think twice about doing it in the future. Take a listen.
All right, sir, carefully as you can. You're going to be walking over here to the gate over here, all right? Slow and steady. What you here for today?
Shackling him up.
All right, come on in here. Have a seat in the cell. We're going to gather up some paperwork and get things started for you. Do you have any questions? All right.
Locked him up.
What we're going to start doing Monday is, since parents, you don't want to raise your kids, I'm going to start raising them. Every time we make an arrest, your kid's photo is going to be put out there. And if I could do it, I'm going to perp walk your kid so that everybody can see what your kid's up to.
You got any issue with that?
Man, I'll tell you what, when you see that, it's so scary because obviously now so many kids out there think it's cool to do that, or they're, on Twitch and threatening to blow up their schools. But I think perp walk the kid, but also the parents, just bring them in there too. And this isn't Scared Straight from 20 years ago where, the kid had a bad attitude. This kid is threatening to kill people. So once we start doing that to the kids, great, but also do it to the parents.
Now, I don't want it to just be cosmetic here, right? Just the video, just a picture put out there, because maybe that's what the kid wants. You've actually got to lock the little SOB up. You've got to make him serve a little bit of time. And I'm good with this. I'm going to ask Tony Kennett, who's going to join us coming up here about 5:30 about this, because we've had different opinions on kids and arrests and things like that. So we'll see how that conversation goes. Doing some legal stuff here, the Justice Department filing a $100 million claim over the deadly bridge collapse in Baltimore last year. The lawsuit names the owner and operator of that cargo ship, which lost power and drifted into one of the bridge's supports, killing 6 workers and disrupting weeks' worth of shipping in the port of Baltimore. They're seeking over $100 million in damages for, quote, grossly negligent and reckless actions.
When you watch the video, I don't know, what your thoughts were on this, but when I watched the video the day that it happened, I'm still not sure it wasn't intentional. I see the turn and the way that it went, but regardless, the whole thing makes no sense that Pete Buttigieg is the transportation secretary, yet isn't being blamed for any of these terrible things that happen. And he's still out there, ripping on Trump and telling people to vote for Kamala. So to me, gross negligence, yes, give him $100 million.
The transportation secretary should be like a baseball umpire. You should have no idea who it is. And if you do, it's because something has gone terribly wrong. Like, we know who Angel Hernandez is as a Major League Baseball umpire. Can anybody other than diehards name a baseball umpire off the top of their head? Probably not. But you know Angel Hernandez because he sucks. It's the same thing with Pete Buttigieg right now as the transportation secretary. But go back to that video, because you talked about watching that video. Maybe I'm just naive. I don't know how these things work. But it felt weird to me that that little boat was able to make that kind of contact and bring the whole thing down.
And we're just told to move on, and so it's like, oh, okay. Anytime something big like that happens now, you have to think of it, look at it through the lens of politics. And you're like, okay, well, that seemed fishy to me. Move on.
Today is National Cheeseburger Day. Ooh. So you've been back in Indy for a couple of months now. You moved back from California. Do you have your favorite go-to place for a cheeseburger yet?
I heard you guys talking yesterday, and was it Nigel who didn't know what Smashburger was?
Yes.
Oh, those are delicious. If you haven't had a Smashburger, I really, really enjoy those. For me, I'm a little boring. I really do like a Wendy's single with bacon. Coming from LA, In-N-Out was kind of my jam for a while. I loved In-N-Out Burger, but I'm easy. The only one I don't do is Burger King.
Okay, so Allison, best place for a cheeseburger in Indianapolis. Today is National Cheeseburger Day.
Man.
Because I'm coming to the table with Working Man's Friend every single time.
That's up there.
It is strong. It's real good. But I will say this. If you're chain restaurant guy, like you talked about Wendy's or chain location, chain restaurant, man, some of those double burgers that you can get at Applebee's are not bad. Like everybody wants to make fun of Applebee's. Oh, this, that, whatever. Applebee's hits the spot every time I've been there.
Man, I grew up with 7 brothers and sisters, so to us, like even the idea of going to Applebee's when we were young, that would have been fine dining for us. So for me now, it's just like there's a place on the northeast side that I went to called Bubba's that has a double bacon cheeseburger that is phenomenal. So that was great.
Yeah, I love a good burger, man. Do we count the Frisco Melt from Steak and Shake as a cheeseburger? Because you can get cheese on it, but does that count as a cheeseburger? Allison, I'm going to need a ruling.
I don't think so. I think it's its own thing.
Falls into its own category?
I agree, yeah.
Okay. Great moments in cheeseburger history after winning his first Super Bowl with the Kansas City Chiefs. This is how Andy Reid wanted to celebrate.
I'm going to go get the biggest cheeseburger you've ever seen. Prime, the biggest one, and might be a double.
Like so many of these players, they're ready to go to the club. They're ready to celebrate. They're ready to do this. Andy Reid was like, damn, just get me a cheeseburger. Let's go.
It seems like cheeseburger, when I think about, okay, if you could only have one thing for the rest of your life, cheeseburger, pizza.
Ooh. And it's got to be the same type of pizza. You can't get different toppings, correct?
Right. You're allowed one meal for the rest of your life, cheeseburger or pizza. I go back and I stay up at night thinking about this. I think I would go cheeseburger.
Hit us up on Twitter at Hammer and Nigel if you had to pick one. And these are your options. Don't come to the table with anything else. I know some people like tacos. Some people like whatever. That's fine. Pizza or cheeseburger. You can only have one for the rest of your life. The other one goes away forever. At Hammer and Nigel, get on the YouTube chat. Let us know. Allison, pick your fighter. Pizza or cheeseburger?
I think I'm going to go pizza.
Okay, what type?
Well, that's the beauty of pizza. You can do...
but you can only pick one one topping for the rest of your life.
Pepperoni.
Okay. Great moments in cheeseburger history. A toddler accidentally ordered 31 McDonald's cheeseburgers on DoorDash.
31. So I didn't know what to do with him. He only ate half of one. So I posted on a community page and asked if anybody wanted some. One girl came by and picked up 6.
As part of that $90 bill, Barrett actually included a $16 tip.
It's a good tipper.
We'll take that. Okay. Driver got a tip and you got 31 burgers. That's a win in my house. Great moments in cheeseburger history, the movie Pulp Fiction.
Hamburgers, the cornerstone of any nutritious breakfast.
What kind of hamburgers?
Cheeseburgers. No. Where'd you get them? McDonald's, Wendy's, Jack in the Box, where?
Big Kahuna Burger.
Big Kahuna Burger. That's that Hawaiian burger joint. I hear they got some tasty burgers. I ain't never had one myself. How are they?
They're good.
You mind if I try one of yours? This is yours here, right? Mm-hmm. This is a tasty burger. You know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese in France?
No.
Tell them, Vincent.
Royale with cheese.
Royale with cheese. You know why they call it that?
Because of the metric system.
Check out the big brain on bread.
Got a lot of action coming in here on social media right now, Jeff. We've got Fremo talking about best cheeseburgers. Garlic cheeseburger at Marvin's in Greencastle. Roger, Rush on Main in Zionsville, has one of the best smash burgers. Jerry chimes in, Brew Burger. And we also had somebody say the Frisco Melt at Steak and Shake absolutely falls into the category of a cheeseburger, and it is the best. So
I think that I agree with Allison. A melt is not a cheeseburger. So I also thought it was interesting you playing the Pulp Fiction clip. Did you notice how Samuel L. Jackson sounds like Kamala Harris when she talks to the Black Caucus?
You're absolutely right. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Did you know
The Social Security Trust Fund is expected to run out of money in less than 10 years. And according to Barron's, an average income couple could lose up to $16,500 every year in Social Security income. Multiply that by 10 or 20 years, and it could be hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's why it's so critical you have the right strategy to file for Social Security.
Discover how you could get every nickel that's rightfully yours with a free, that's the key word, free custom Social Security analysis from Bill Demery, your retirement guy. Bill Demery is my retirement guy. He's Nigel's retirement guy. He should be yours. So if you've saved more than $200,000 and have not yet filed for Social Security, schedule that free analysis right now. 317-648-5120. 317-648-5120. 317-648-5120. Bill Demery, your retirement guy.
Need a new work truck? Need a new fleet vehicle? Andy Moore Ford has got you covered. Over 800 new vehicles available on the lot, including the Super Duty trucks available starting only at $43,995. You've got F-150s, transit vans, the custom work vehicles for any industry, all built Ford tough, and Rangers with that all-new body style from only $36,995. And of course, you want the cool, fun stuff. They've got the Broncos, the Bronco Sports. I'm driving a Bronco. I own a Bronco Sport. And interest rates as low as 0% APR available on new Andy Moore Fords. And when you need service, Andy Moore Ford will come to you. Just schedule it online at andymoreford.com. They'll come pick up the vehicle, service it, and bring it back to you as good as new. Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield. Visit them on Main Street. Tell them Tony Cat sent you, or find them online at andymoreford.com. That's Andy Moore Ford, M-O-H-R. andymoreford.com.
Retired or retiring soon? How much money do you need to live comfortably? Retirement Planners of America is here for you. Would you like to have financial peace of mind? Here's how. Step 1. Find out the amount of money you'll need to retire. Step 2. Have a plan to get there. Step 3. Make sure that plan can take advantage of market gains but protect you from market losses. Discover how to do all three with a free consultation at 800-508-6108. That's 800-508-6108.
All investments involve risk, including losses. Past performance does not guarantee future results.
40 years of B Window.
And 80,000 Indiana homes with windows, doors, siding, and baths.
Pam and I are happy to announce B's 100 employees now own B Window, and Patrick Renard will lead B as CEO.
And B will continue the customer first feeling that George and Pam built. And to celebrate B employee owned, B's offering employee pricing 60% off plus 18 months no interest, no payments.
Proud to be employee owned. Woo! Trust me.
At the Alzheimer's Association Walk to End Alzheimer's, walking means so much more. It means fighting for a different future, for families facing the disease today, for treatments. Because when you take part in Walk to End Alzheimer's, you're not just walking, you're fighting to stop the disease. We're closer than ever, but to get there, we need you. Join us for the world's largest fundraiser to fight the disease. Register today at alz.org/walk.
This is Chris Wedigan with Absolute Comfort. Go to AbsoluteComfort.org to find out how dual fuel systems can keep you absolutely comfortable all day, every day.
Absolute Comfort is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
The Suburban Indie Home and Outdoor Living Show at Grant Park.
Featuring over 200 home improvement exhibitors.
September 20th through 22nd.
Tickets are only $7 at suburbanindieshows.com.
Addiction. It's hard on those who struggle with it, but those who love the addict need support too. Matt Baer and Ryan Hedrick provide help and hope with Supporting Sobriety. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on WIBC.com.
All right, follow us on Twitter right now, at Hammer and Nigel. I decided to just put up a poll. There's a Twitter poll, and it's just what we talked about. If you can only pick one for the rest of your life, pizza with one topping or a cheeseburger with whatever you want on it, one for the rest of your life, the other one goes away forever. Pick one. Vote now at Hammer and Nigel. It's early, but cheeseburger has the lead. Matt Baer, where are we at on this?
Basbo is special. I eat locally, but I'll take the pizza every time.
Nice.
That's all you need. That's all you
Nice.
need. You'll never have a bad day. Trust me. Northbound 465, northwest side stop and go traffic before 86th Street up to 865. Eastbound 465 stop and go traffic Westfield Boulevard over to Allisonville Road. Inbound 65, it is slow after 38th Kessler down to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70 stop and go traffic Holt Road to Meridian, Illinois. Northbound 65 south side stop and go traffic stop 11 Road up to Edgewood Avenue. The stall did clear, so that delay should be clearing out here before too long. You should be gone here in the next 10 minutes, hopefully. Traffic sponsored by Suburban Indie Home and Outdoor Living Show. The Suburban Indie Home and Outdoor Living Show, Grand Park, featuring over 200 exhibitors, September 20th through the 22nd. Tickets are only $7 at suburbanindieshows.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Again, get those votes in. We'll see what the verdict is throughout the evening at Hammer and Nigel. Pizza or cheeseburger? Pick one. It's 86 right now at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center here at 93 WIBC.
Well, we're coming to your city. You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Oh, man. Big road show this Friday. The Suburban Indie Home and Outdoor Living Show. We're doing the show live at Grand Park for Beer Sample Friday. Man, meet us up there. Let's have some drinks. Let's have a good time. They've got like games and like a game show zone, prizes, exhibits, experts, all that kind of stuff. If you buy your tickets now online, you can get a discount. Tickets at the door will be $10 to get in. You don't have to pay to park, but tickets at the door are $10 to get in. You can get them for $7 if you go online and get your tickets right now. But we want to see as many people as possible. So Westfield, get everybody together. Get everybody ready. We may even bring the celebrity beer bong with us. I don't know, but we want to see your happy you-know-whats. This Friday, Suburban Indie Home and Outdoor Living Show up at Grand Park for Beer Sample Friday. And caller number 9 right now, 239-9393. You'll win a 4-pack of tickets to go to the Home and Outdoor Living Show. Caller number 9, 239-9393.
According to a 2023 Gallup poll, 71% of non-retired adults are worried about retirement saving. At Howard Bailey Financial, we don't believe retiring with confidence should be guesswork. In fact, our mission is to help you gain clarity and purpose and elevate meaning in your life through personal and practical financial strategies. That's why we provide our Retire with Purpose toolkit at no cost. In it, you'll find valuable information on minimizing taxes, maximizing Social Security, and building a retirement income you won't outlive. To receive your complimentary toolkit, text CLARITY to 866-482-9559. Take a step toward a more confident retirement with Howard Bailey Financial and text CLARITY to 866-482-9559.
This endorsement was not provided by a client of Howard Bailey. This individual was compensated for this endorsement. For more information, visit howardbailey.com/TS1.
Hey, it's Big Joe for Absolute Comfort, your trusted independent American Standard Air dealer. Owner Chris Wettikin sells the ductless Mitsubishi Electric Mini Split, which is a clean and extremely energy-efficient way to heat and cool a specific area.
These systems don't run the air through the ductwork, which is where a lot of your dust and allergies and other displeasing smells come from. And maybe best of all, you're not circulating viruses throughout the home.
Find out more at AbsoluteComfort.org. Absolute Comfort is your trusted independent American Standard Air Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless Pro dealer.
Hey, what's up? It's Hammer from the Hammer and Nigel Show. You guys rocked it at our WIBC debate viewing party at 416 Wabash. That place is so cool. You guys were the stars of the show. And if you're looking for a place to have your next event, whether it's a wedding reception, class reunion, you name it, check out 416 Wabash. As a wedding DJ, I've played a lot of venues, and I got to tell you, 416 Wabash might be the coolest. 416wabash.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
C&J's water softener deal gets you a free reverse osmosis with any softener purchase of 30,000 grains or larger. C&J softeners are the state-of-the-art and most reliable units on the market today. And listen, hard water causes all sorts of problems, from dry skin and hair to clogged pipes and water stains. C&J's water softeners can help you prevent all those issues, so take advantage of this great softener deal and get a free reverse osmosis unit included. C&J, great systems and great people too. 317-733-SOFT.
When it's time to renovate, it's time to call Booher, B-O-O-H-E-R, BooherRemodeling.com, because it's about the process. It's about dealing with professionals who are with you every step of the way, communicating how things work. The best craftsmen and professionals who have been doing kitchens and bathrooms in Indianapolis for 2 decades. Talk to Booher Remodeling today about how they work and why it will work for you and your new kitchen. Call 317-852-5546, 852-5546, or online at Booher, B-O-O-H-E-R, BooherRemodeling.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes, Indy FOP's president wants IMPD to have more officers. 9 people have been charged for those street takeovers last weekend, and the Indiana Fever are just about ready for the playoffs to start. That's coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
No endorsement for anyone from the Teamsters. Lisa Brady, Fox News. But former President Trump just telling reporters he considers it an honor that the union isn't endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris.
The vote of the Teamsters themselves was very high for me, and the leadership, Sean O'Brien and the group, who are great people, they said we can't endorse the Democrats. So I think this is the first time in many decades that they haven't endorsed Democrats.
Internal Teamsters polling showed 58% support for Trump, 31% for Harris. The union saying neither candidate made serious commitments on Teamsters' core issues. The former president visiting a New York City bar that only takes payment in Bitcoin on his way to a Long Island rally, also defending his call for mass deportations and a crackdown on illegal immigrants. Vice President Harris telling the Congressional Hispanic Caucus today immigration reform should include a pathway to citizenship. For the first time in more than 4 years, a rate cut by the Fed, and it's a half-point reduction.
This recalibration of our policy stance will help maintain the strength of the economy and the labor market, and will continue to enable further progress on inflation as we begin the process of moving toward a more neutral stance.
Fed Chair Jerome Powell says they'll continue to weigh risks and make decisions meeting by meeting, but more cutting is expected this year. Stocks rallied at first and then sank, the Dow dropping about 100 points. After a second day of deadly device explosions in Lebanon, the White House facing questions about possibly evacuating Americans.
We have on the shelf, we have evacuation plans available for places all over the world, but I wouldn't lead that to believe that we're in a moment now where we think we need to imminently call for that or act on that right now.
National Security Communications Advisor John Kirby also declining to confirm reports Israel is behind the explosions. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He says they're understaffed. Mostly sunny, 86 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. A check of the radar comes up clear. 61 is where temperatures settle tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. The number of officers in Indianapolis has decreased in recent years. John Herrick reports on what the Indy FOP president says needs to be done about it.
Fraternal Order of Police President Rick Snyder said in a news conference Wednesday that officers have been leaving Indianapolis to go to other places like Carmel, for example, because they can offer better pay and support. But Snyder argues that pay is only part of it. There's also
safety, a criminal justice system that holds violent offenders accountable, and support from the community.
He says IMPD Chief Chris Bailey also needs to be paid more because he's paid well below his peers in other big cities right now. John Herrick, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
9 people have been charged from those street takeovers that you may have heard about from last weekend. Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears announced those charges this afternoon, most of which include criminal recklessness and resisting law enforcement. School choice, not parent choice, is the focus in Indiana, says Jennifer McCormick, the Democratic nominee for Indiana governor. She argues this system allows schools to pick and choose which students they admit.
I'm a firm believer that if we're going to have school choice, we need to have some quality guardrails so that parents know what that means. You know, are those teachers licensed? Are those schools of quality choice, or is it just for the sake of dollars?
McCormick told WIBC's Tony Katz that billions of dollars are being spent on school privatization, benefiting only a small percentage of students in the state. She argues that those handling the funds are not being transparent. And the Indiana Fever's playoff opponent has not been decided yet, but guard Caitlin Clark says the team's just focused on their next regular season game against the Washington Mystics tomorrow.
We're still going in there to compete and to win, and we know Washington's competing for that last playoff spot as well, too. So we expect it to be a very, very highly competitive game.
That game is in D.C. It starts at 7. And the average price you're paying for a gallon of gas today, $3.14, up a little bit from yesterday. It's all according to GasBuddy.com. It's still below the national average by about 5 cents. Traffic and weather in 60 seconds. Your time, 5:04.
Cindy Carrasco has spent a career holding the powerful accountable. As Indiana's Inspector General and Director of the State Ethics Commission, Cindy fought waste, fraud, and abuse wherever she found it. Cindy also combated wrongdoing in state government, which meant standing up and doing the right thing even if it wasn't popular. Now, as our state senator, Cindy Carrasco continues to fight on behalf of all Hoosiers by improving the quality of our children's education, providing tax relief for everyone, and working to make our communities safe by getting law enforcement the resources they need to fight crime, violence, and keep fentanyl away from our families. It's why Cindy has been endorsed by the Indiana Fraternal Order of Police, State Police Alliance, and the Professional Firefighters of Indiana. Because they know that Cindy has their back, and we know she has ours. Vote for more government transparency, better schools, lower taxes, and safer streets. Vote Cindy Carrasco for State Senate.
Paid for by Cindy for Senate.
With traffic in the 5s at 5:05, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison, northbound 465 northwest side, stop and go traffic, 86th Street up to 865. Eastbound 465, stop and go. Westfield Boulevard over to Allisonville Road. Inbound 65, a grind from the White River down to Meridian Penn. And northbound 65, slow out of the north split to 21st Street. Eastbound 70, stop and go traffic, that's Tibbs to Meridian, Illinois. South side, stall cleared. Northbound 65 at Edgewood Avenue, still dragging just an inch past Southport Road. This is a crash downtown 10th Street at Riley Hospital Drive. Traffic sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Get renters insurance to protect the things that make your place a home, including coverage for theft or damage. Visit progressive.com. That's progressive.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
This Wednesday evening, a couple of clouds might be around, but it'll still be on the mostly clear side of things. Low temperatures drop into the lower 60s, and winds will be light and variable in direction. Thursday looks to be warm and sunny again. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos? So let's
having a good time with you folks today. My name is Jason Hammer. Jeff Boggs, not Kenny Rogers on social media, filling in for Big Nige. And let's go to the hotline and bring on one of our favorites. Look who the cat has dragged in, Naptown Brian Baker. What's up, my friend?
How are you, gentlemen? Good to talk to you, Bo.
Hey, man, it's good to hear your voice. And we got you on the show because nobody breaks down like what's happening with financials and politics the way that you do. And they're often entwined here. So let's talk about what the Fed decided to do today. They are going to lower the rate by 0.5 point. Brian, talk to me like I'm 5 years old. What does this mean for me?
Let's see. Like you're 5 years old. What this means is that Fed Chair Jerome Powell gave Kamala Harris a nice wet kiss on the mouth today. That's the best way to boil it down. Listen, guys, this is clearly, I think, to be seen as highly political. A 50 basis point cut is pretty significant. As a matter of fact, the last time that there was this deep of a cut in interest rates, just to put this in perspective, outside of the emergency rate cuts of COVID, the last time the Fed did this cut by 0.5 point was during the 2008 financial crisis. So 0.5 point doesn't sound like that much, but it's actually pretty significant. And there was actually dissension within the Fed. One of the Fed governors, there's a total of 7 of them, Michelle Bowman, she was one of the 7. She actually voted against the cut, favoring a 0.25 point rate cut. And the Fed is saying that there's more cuts to come. So let me just I think there's 2 ways to spin this right now. In theory, you could say that, this is political and it's designed to send the message that Bidenomics was effective. But then there's also the argument that, well, a rate cut this aggressive could be a sign that the economy is in trouble and they're trying to take drastic action, and that's why they favored a 50-point basis cut instead of 25. So, I don't know. There's 2 ways to look at this. And in terms of the impact on you, well, number one, the idea would be that this decision effectively, what it does is it lowers what they call the federal funds rate. It lowers it to a range between like 4.75% and 5%. And in theory, that should set the cost that it spills over into the cost for like consumer products like mortgages and auto loans and credit cards. So in theory, you would see those rates come down. However, we've got kind of an interesting thing happening right now because defaults are up. People are defaulting on their auto loans. They're missing credit card payments. Credit card debt is at an all-time high. So credit risk has actually skyrocketed. And that has to be paid for somewhere. So I don't know that you're going to see it spill over into auto loans and credit cards. Mortgages, you may see a little bit of movement there, and I'm sure people will be rushing to refinance because, heck, man, just a 0.5 point can make a big difference in your monthly mortgage bill.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, Brian, great to meet you on air. But if Hammer understands finances at a 5-year-old level, I'm a 4-year-old. So here's what I take from this today. I take that if Donald Trump was president, I doubt that the Fed would have done the 0.5 slash. And also, just for a regular person like myself and all the listeners out there, you see things like the jobs reports being overinflated. This is math that they're now screwing with. These type of numbers that they're rigging. What can we do about it? Or is it as rigged as I personally think it is?
Yeah, well, boy, hey, you're Hammer, have him on more often when Nigel has a hangover. He gets it. My perspective on this whole thing is, they're playing with numbers, but this is all just really, short-term impact because it doesn't do anything to address the underlying issues that we have with our economy right now. And what people have to keep in mind is we have a $35 going on $36 trillion national debt. Our annual budget deficit is nearly $2 trillion. As I said, credit card debt is at an all-time high. And look at the way, I was thinking about this yesterday, look at the way your grandparents lived versus how your parents lived and how you're living. Our grandparents, you had one parent generally that worked, one stayed at home and raised the kids. They owned land. You actually got land when you bought a home. It was a quality-built home. Bonds were secure and paying a decent return. They had pensions, and consumer products that they purchased weren't just cheaply made crap that falls apart in a couple of years. So our standard of living has slowly been coming down, 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 down. And then the amount of money that it takes to maintain that reduced standard has gone up. And the fact is that, you can say that Donald Trump is a polarizing individual, but the economy did very, very well under him until COVID hit, which was not his fault. There was nothing to prepare us for that. But we were in a healthy economy. We had very low inflation. Energy prices were down. and Americans were paying off debt, and we were in a great position with low interest rates. So, and real wages went up under Donald Trump. They've actually declined under Kamala Harris and Harry Lake. So, we're in a much worse situation before. And I will just tell you candidly, I hate the doomsday prophets, but guys, $35 trillion is a major deal. That is larger than our annual economy. When we had high inflation in the 80s, our debt to GDP ratio was around 35%. Now it's closer to 125%. I don't see any way out of this. I don't see how we grow our way out of this, and I don't see how any of this gets fixed regardless of who's in the White House, because we've just gone too far down this path, and I don't know how we turn back from it.
That ray of sunshine is Brian Baker joining us here on the Hammer and Nigel show. Brian, so what do you anticipate is going to happen with the market as a result of this and my 401k? Everybody listening right now wants to know the same thing. How's my 401k? As if it hasn't already been kicked in the taint enough from the Biden-Harris administration. What is this going to do?
Oh, man, anybody that tells you they know what's going to happen is lying to you. I don't care how many years they've been at this, guys, and how many degrees they have. The market has been all over the place today. Usually when you get decisions like this, sometimes you'll see a retraction that'll bounce back the next day. But long term, I think we've got such a massive problem with our debt that our government is going to continue to find new and creative ways to tax us and to take money out of your pocket. And, again, I think, our grandparents and our parents were in a much better situation than any of us are. And, I don't see anybody out there that is saying, boy, this reduction in the annual inflation rate is really helping me at the gas pump or helping me at the grocery store. I mean, it's really bad out there. And listen, let me tell you something, too, just quickly about manufacturing. Because manufacturing in the economy is generally the first thing to go and the last thing to come back. And I'm wasting my talent in manufacturing right now, guys. And I will tell you this. There are people that are extremely nervous about not only the election, but just the future of our economy. And there are layoffs happening, more people moving to automation, and folks are very, very concerned about where we go from here. So whatever, roses and sunshine they're painting there on the political scene, it ain't what we're experiencing down here in the real world on Main Street.
All right, I want to offer a solution to this. I don't know anything about finances, like I said, but Indiana University football is favored by 28.5 over Charlotte this weekend, okay? If someone can loan me $35 trillion, I will have this country back to even by Saturday night.
You see, the genius of people that think outside the box, and they're out of Washington, D.C. We're solving problems here, boys. Good on you, Jeff.
Last thing before we let you go, Brian. Bigger deal today. Like, what's more important, I guess? The kiss that Kamala Harris got from the Fed decision, as you put it so elegantly earlier, or the Teamsters deciding to not endorse Kamala Harris, which is completely unheard of. Like, what's a bigger deal here?
Oh, man, those both are pretty earth-shattering. I don't know. I think the Teamsters deciding that they're not going to endorse Kamala Harris, I mean, that's pretty earth-shattering, and that's going to be bad for their campaign. I'll be interested to see how they're going to spin that one. But, yeah, man, I mean, I will tell you, I have no idea which way this election is going to run. Every time I think that Trump's put his foot in his mouth and he's lost it, the polls come out, and I'm surprised. So I'm optimistic, guys. I'm optimistic that Donald Trump is going to pull it out here in November. And as far as that kiss on the mouth goes with Kamala Harris, I don't want to downplay that, guys. This is a risky move, in all candor. 50-point basis point cut. That risks the chance of rebound inflation, but, more to the point on the kiss to the mouth, I lived in California. I know where Kamala Harris's mouth is in. Jerome Powell is playing flesh roulette, guys.
And on that note, we're going to let you fly. My friend Brian Baker at Naptown Bry on Twitter. Awesome stuff as always, Brian.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Matt Baer, what's going on?
All right, Hammer, it's the east side. We have a crash reported eastbound 70 at Post Road. A slowdown going through there. North side, eastbound 465. It's jammed up. Westfield Boulevard over to Allisonville Road. Inbound 65, stop and go from the White River to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70, stop and go traffic. Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. Southwest side, southbound 465 loaded from Sam Jones Expressway down to Man Road. And looking at northbound 6570, that's stop and go traffic. Michigan Street through the north split, then slow up to 21st Street. Crash Lafayette Road at Kessler Boulevard North. Traffic sponsored by Innovative Foundation Service, your trusted local experts. Your local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation and crawl space repair. Book your free inspection at IndianaFoundation.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
So if you're just now tuning in, we might have to crowdsource this, but all we need is $35 to $38 trillion, and Jeff can get this country rolling again by betting it all on the Hoosiers this weekend.
Right. I just want to do my part, and I will take a very, very, very small fee right off the top.
You really are the government. Goodness. If you want the rest of the plays for college football this weekend, download the latest episode of The Degenerates Next Door. Myself, Rob Kendall, we have a professional handicapper that comes on our show who's unbeaten heading into this week, by the way. So if you want the plays on Notre Dame, Tennessee, Oklahoma, USC, Michigan, and others, download it right now. Anywhere you get podcasts, or go to the shows tab at WIBC.com. Look for The Degenerates Next Door. 86 right now at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hey guys, it's Rob from my friends at Universal Windows Direct. Call my guys at Universal Windows Direct. 317-659-7574. At Universal Windows Direct, their super spacer technology makes their windows last up to 5 times longer than other Windows systems. So your windows from Universal Windows Direct perform better and last longer. Plus, Universal Windows Direct backs it up with a true 20-year warranty. And listen to this deal going on with Universal Windows Direct. Call today at 317-659-7574, and for every 2 windows you buy, you get the next 2 free. Buy 2, get 2. Buy 4, get 4. Buy 20, get 20. There's no limit. Plus, what a deal, 0% financing for 60 months. That's right, 0% financing for 60 months. Restrictions apply. For the last windows you'll ever need, go to UWD.com, UWD.com, UWD.com.
High five! Up top! Heck yeah!
Dave's company just got the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business.
Yeah, 5 years!
It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
High five for gig speed.
5 years of advanced security.
Security win.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Our rate ain't changing.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
There it is.
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Woohoo!
Now he's got savings.
I'm so excited.
Yep, Dave's feeling it. But it's only for a limited time, so don't wait. Switch today and ask how to get the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Powering 5 years of savings. Powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping.
Ends 9/22/24. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-525-9369, 800-525-9369, 800-525-9369.
Attention Indiana homeowners, are you dealing with a wet and moldy crawl space? Hi, I'm Adam Swain with Swain Co. Crawl Space and Basement Repair, your real, local, Indiana family-owned experts dedicated to fixing your crawl space right the first time. And with our new, no interest, no payment financing, you can get the repairs you need without breaking the bank. Don't let crawl space water problems dampen your spirits. Call Swain Co., Indy's most trusted waterproofing experts at 317-407-1868 or swaincollc.com.
Seems like there's more identity theft in the news every day.
Another major healthcare breach was reported today, resulting in the exposure of
1 in 4 consumers have been a victim of identity.
That's because there are endless places that could accidentally expose you to identity theft, in a breach, or simply by mistake. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Absolute Comfort, your American Standard air dealer serving Central Indiana.
Are you really okay with this?
Are you okay? Everything's gonna be okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm pretty far from okay.
Are you okay with this? On the Hammer and Nigel show.
Oh, yeah! Now, normally this is the part of the show where Nigel would host it and I'd give my hot takes. But I am the host today. We've got a guest. Jeffrey Boggs is filling in for Big Nige. So, Allison, I want you in the mix here, too. I'm going to give this story to both of you and tell me your thoughts. Allison, I'm going to start with you. A San Diego 11-year-old had his entire lemonade stand and the setup stolen by a guy in a truck. Kid named Liam was using the money to save up for a dirt bike. Here's Liam and his mom talking about the thief.
Why would this happen? Why would he do that from a kid that's just trying to sell lemonade?
About halfway through the video, you can see that he picks the sign up and he reads it.
On the bottom, in kind of small writing, said, saving for a dirt bike, anything helps, thank you, with a little smiley face at the end. Someone that's rude and selfish and has no feelings for other people and only cares about himself.
I hope that he doesn't, use this experience to think that, all people are like that and there's not good people in this world.
Now, the update to the story is local people in the community said, well, that sucks. And they chipped in a bunch of money. So he got the money back and then some. But your thoughts?
Well, of course, not okay with the stealing part. That's such a bummer. And kids these days, a lot of them don't try to earn their own money anymore. So it's really honorable that this little guy was just trying to, make his own money to get a dirt bike. But I love that the community stepped up. So in that part, I am okay with that.
Jeff? Let's turn the microphone on. There we go.
Oh, sorry. Honestly, I go the different way. Hey, kids, stop whining and get some armed security.
Right.
Okay.
If you're in San Diego and you're that close to the border, then maybe, just maybe, you need to hire some security. Just don't hire the people that Donald Trump hired, and you're going to be fine.
Right.
Going to be just fine. All right, Jeff, I want to bring this one to you. A new study shows that over half of Americans say that a good cup of coffee can turn their day around. In fact, almost a third of the people surveyed say that a bad cup of coffee can ruin their day.
It's interesting. I am not a coffee drinker. So to me, I look at that. I know how passionate people are about their Java, but if coffee is going to dictate how your day goes, then I think that there are bigger problems in your life.
Now, Allison, are you a coffee drinker or are you the basic white girl getting your Uggs on, going to Starbucks and coming back with a pumpkin spice thing?
That's also a coffee.
I know where this is going.
I do like both of them. I like coffee in general. And these days, speaking of Starbucks, it is crazy. It's like $6 for a small coffee in general. So it does kind of upset me if I do have a bad cup of coffee and I paid $6 for it.
Great moments in coffee history. Comedian Brian Regan on The Few, the Proud, who just want a cup of black coffee.
Sometimes you wonder why they can't do something that seems simple. I like a cup of black coffee after a meal. I'm amazed at how impossible this is for me to communicate. I don't think I could say it any more clearly. Would you like anything else, sir? Yeah, I'd like a cup of black coffee, please. How'd you like that coffee? How would I like the black coffee? Can you put it in a cup? Yeah, don't just splash it on my face. Would you like cream and sugar with that? Is it black cream? If not, I'll take it blackety black. Filled with blackness, devoid of all light. Think of the blackest thing you can imagine and double that blackness and take a black magic marker and fill in the gaps and put that into a black rocket ship and shoot that into the depths of black space and close your eyes and use that as a reference.
Great moments in coffee history.
You know, speaking of coffee, I have a fun fact for all of you country music fans out there. Pumpkin Spice Frappuccino was the original name for Florida Georgia Line. True,
what
true
could have
story.
been? Maybe they would have stayed together.
Fun facts for kids. Allison, last one here. The newest trend on TikTok is somebody giving health advice saying to eat dirt. As someone on the Home and Garden Show, I feel like you would be the perfect person to break this down. According to this TikTok health expert, eating biodynamic soil in the form of clay is supposed to help with everything from gut health to acne because it's loaded with all types of minerals that are good for you, but doctors say it could be dangerous.
Oh, eating dirt could be dangerous? You mean it has germs and possibly parasites in it? Probably not okay with this, no.
Somebody on the Home and Garden Show needs to eat dirt this weekend.
Okay, I'll get Terry Stacy to do it.
Like she would do that,
Oh,
right?
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Jeff?
All right, add it to the poll. Cheeseburgers, pizza, or dirt?
Tough choice.
At Hammer and Nigel. All right, coming up next, the Tonus. Tony Kennett, investigative reporter for the Daily Signal, and he's the host of the Tony Kennett Cast, starting at 7 o'clock tonight, right after our program here on 93 WIBC. We'll get his thoughts on some of this violence we're seeing in Marion County schools, teachers, and students. Plus, I want to find out what he thinks about the student being perp walked and booked in Florida. Tony Kennett coming up right after Harrison Silcox has the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He doesn't like the excuses. A few clouds over the circle and 86 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. Your radar's clear of any rain, low of 61 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 529. Indianapolis Fraternal Order of Police President Rick Snyder said in a news conference today, too many people are responding to violence in Indianapolis by saying, well, it happens in plenty of other big cities.
Go tell that to the resident or this counselor down in Decatur Township who has 2 police officers patrolling an entire township.
He says the city needs to be paying officers better, also needs to hire more of them, and take more collective action to keep police and citizens safe. The Fed announced an interest rate cut today. Fox Business's Edward Lawrence reports.
This is the first time now the Federal Reserve has made a move in 8 consecutive meetings. And this 50 basis point cut, well, it shocked some in the markets, but this was not a unanimous vote. In fact, Board of Governor Michelle Bowman voted against this, saying that there should have been a smaller 25 basis point cut. Now, here's why the Federal Reserve Chairman says they needed to make the deeper cut.
It's a process of recalibrating our policy stance away from where we had it a year ago when inflation was high and unemployment low to a place that's more appropriate given where we are now and where we expect to be.
Now, these votes from Fed members are very close. In fact, 1 vote away from only 1 more cut this year and 1 vote away from 3 cuts next year.
Fed Chair Jerome Powell says the central bank is focused on achieving maximum employment and stable prices. The Teamsters Union, one of the largest in the country, says they will not be endorsing a candidate for president this election. Last time around, they had backed Joe Biden. Before that, it was Hillary Clinton. And before that, Barack Obama. Indiana ranks low in wage growth, and investing in education is one way to change that.
I'm Ryan Hedrick. Education is the key to a strong economy, so says the Democratic nominee for Indiana Governor Jennifer McCormick, who adds that we must have a healthy and educated consumer.
Because if we're unhealthy, we're going to struggle. But we need to make sure that we are getting those wages up, that we are empowering our rural areas where some of that suppression is happening.
With WIBC's Tony Katz, she adds that when healthcare costs go up and wages go down, we're in a tough spot. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The traffic at 531. Here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison, northeast side, eastbound 465 stop and go traffic. Westfield Boulevard to the White River. That's a crash. Shadeland Avenue at 75th. Inbound 65 stop and go from the White River down to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70 loaded from Tibbs Avenue into Meridian, Illinois. And a crash. Lafayette Road at Kessler Boulevard North. South side, southbound 465 stop and go traffic from Sam Jones Expressway past Man Road. Traffic sponsored by Suburban Indie Home and Outdoor Living Show. The Suburban Indie Home and Outdoor Living Show at Grand Park, featuring over 200 exhibitors, September 20th through the 22nd. Tickets are only $7 at suburbanindieshows.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
This Wednesday evening, a couple of clouds might be around, but it'll still be on the mostly clear side of things. Low temperatures drop into the lower 60s, and winds will be light and variable in direction. Thursday looks to be warm and sunny again. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
It is the Hammer and Nigel Show. My name is Jason Hammer. Jeff Boggs is here, and right now on the hotline, he is an investigative reporter for the Daily Signal and the host of the Tony Kennett Cast, 7 o'clock Monday through Friday, right here at 93 WIBC. Tony Kennett joins us. Tony, let's start here in Indy. I know we can always talk about national stuff, but I want to talk about some good old-fashioned stuff happening here in Indy, and it's not good. Nor is it old-fashioned. It actually sucks. We're seeing stories that a substitute teacher at George Washington High School had the hell beat out of him by some punk with a rap sheet. Then we go over to Perry Meridian, where there was another brutal fight. A student was severely injured. We've talked about this a lot. You have had a background in education. Just give me your overall thoughts on when you see these stories come out of Marion County schools.
Did you hear Jennifer McCormick, the Democrat candidate for governor? Did you hear her statement on school violence the other day?
No.
Oh, okay. Did you maybe hear about Braun's statement on inner city school violence in our state the other day?
No.
Oh, okay. Can you think of any representative or state senator in our entire state legislature that has issued some kind of a statement on social media about this epidemic that you and I on WIBC have to keep coming back to day after day after day?
That would be a negative, Ghost Rider.
Yeah, so let's break it down for you here. This is something that anyone with a mental aptitude above third grade can very plainly see, very, very plainly see, is an epidemic in our schools that needs to be addressed way sooner rather than later. But you don't actually see this in the legislature because it's kind of a tricky issue to deal with, but it still needs to be dealt with because, again, kids are getting the living crap beat out of each other. Substitute teachers are getting the crap beaten out of each other. It's a mess. And no one really wants to touch it, and so kids are going to keep getting hurt until someone finally decides to touch it.
I had the opportunity to speak to a couple of different school resource officers, different sides of town, different school districts, and the problem they keep telling me, Tony, and tell me if you buy this or not, is that the school's hands are kind of tied because of the lack of prosecution. These kids, they're not really going to juvie. You know, that was the big threat when we were growing up, right? You're going to get locked up into juvie, scared straight. But that's not happening. Ryan Mears wants no part of having any sort of discipline to adults in Indianapolis, let alone juveniles. Does that really become part of the problem here?
Yeah, that's a good chunk of it. I would say probably even the other half of the chunk of the issue. And the first issue, of course, is that we actually don't have a very cut and clear measure of the expectations for students, parents, teachers, and administrators for school. And until we actually have all of those four groups categorized into what we expect from them legally, then we're not ever going to solve this issue. But yes, the hands are tied, because there was this idea, and I'm not going to name the president, but it was George W. Bush, and he came up with this really stupid idea that if you leave a child behind, then man, they're going to, then you throw them out of school, they're going to end up in prison. And then this also came out of the 80s and the 90s, this school to prison pipeline, that there were these well-meaning young kids who, because they got sent to detention, if you kick them out of school, if they beat the living crap out of another student violently, well, then they might get sent to prison. And it was this idea that it was because, I guess, they got sent to detention that, I don't know, they get some kind of weird like of being behind bars or whatever, and so that's some kind of a pipeline excuse there. It doesn't make any sense. The fact of the reality is there need to be consequences for actions. Now, I know this. You know this. If I drop a lot of very nasty words on the air, tomorrow I won't be on the air. Those are called consequences. But we're not teaching our students that there are consequences to actions. Ryan Mears is too busy letting criminals in the adult world back out on the streets. What makes you think he's going to send a student to some type of a correctional facility for beating the living crap out of another student?
We had a story earlier that we talked about how there's a county in Florida that has kind of taken that scared straight angle to the next level, where they are videotaping kids being arrested, doing the perp walk, being locked up. They're putting their mug shots out on publications. I'm 100% all in on this kind of stuff, but I'm kind of a romantic. Tony, what about you?
I got to tell you, I'm not as much a huge fan on like the perp walks and the mug shots and stuff. I think that that's a little too much drama and attention on something that could be quite honestly just fixed with a week in juvie, or maybe some community service, or some physical labor, or some corporal punishment. Those are things that have worked for thousands of years for human history in turning individuals who have done stupid things as kids into responsible adults. Now, you may say, well, my psychologist said that's really damaging. We don't need a bunch of perp walks and mug shots and fancy drama and attention for reels and videos. Throw the kid in juvie, give the kid a spanking, and we move on. I mean, I'm sorry. The solution is so simple. It's frustrating that we still have to keep coming back to this drawing board.
Oh, don't get it twisted. I'm all for the things that you just mentioned, too. But I also want those things added on. I want the full experience here. I don't just want the social media picture. I want little Johnny getting filmed, being locked up, and then little Johnny being locked up, if that makes sense.
I hear you. I think the problem with that is that little Johnny is probably also the little kind of an arrogant blankety blank that would really enjoy the attention and being put on social media for somebody to throw the old 90s Cops theme over it and, him look cool in front of his friends. Unfortunately, a lot of those kind of tactics don't really work if the kid doesn't have what's called emotional buy-in. And so I think it's just kind of putting a hat on a hat at this point. It's kind of a fun idea if the kid cares. But if the kid doesn't, then it's just kind of wasting a lot of time and money.
Chatting with Tony Kennett, host of the Tony Kennett Cast here at 93 WIBC. All right, it's been a couple days removed since another assassination attempt on Donald Trump's life. What did you think when you heard about round number 2, Tony?
The first thing I thought was, who on God's green earth is using an AK-47 with a scope? That's like putting an AK-47 is not a marksman's rifle. It is the working man's very basic assault rifle. And this goober thought that he was going to take some 300 or 400 yard shots with an AK-47, which, by the way, that can be done. Not very smart. But anyway, as I'm not Guy Relford, the gun guy, I will digress. The first thing I thought was, man, our Secret Service really could not cover a twin-sized mattress with a king-size comforter. I mean, my God, how many times is it going to take Trump getting shot at to establish a perimeter? And people are saying, well, actually he needs to have more agents allotted to him. Okay. I mean, obviously, I don't know why we have to have these conversations. The second assassination attempt in 2 months and 2 days, Hammer? I mean, this is... bonkers is not even a good enough word at this particular point in time. I don't even know what we do at this point. they really aren't going to stop until they shoot him. I'm serious. That's not going to stop until that's what we're faced with, God forbid.
And the last time this happened, and it's ridiculous we have to say the previous assassination attempt, but we got multiple members of the media, politicians saying we need to turn down the temperature. We need to limit the hateful rhetoric. And everybody was singing Kumbaya for about, 24 to 48 hours. Then that went away. Hell, this time around, the minute that the story broke, you've got news anchors saying, well, he brought it on himself. Lester Holt trying to say that because Donald Trump was criticizing Haitians in Springfield, Ohio, maybe that's why this happened. Hillary Clinton calling Donald Trump a threat to democracy, playing the greatest hits. There was no goodwill this time around.
I mean, and I think that this is something that Americans are quite honestly noticing at point blank, whenever someone, for example, remember when Paul Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi's husband, got assaulted by that naked guy with a hammer? They said, well, this is clearly because Donald Trump has made fun of Nancy Pelosi. And so that rhetoric from the right caused someone to attack the left. And then someone who has been called a dictator, a fascist, all of these other super evil Hitler, Satan, whatever words, consistently by the current vice president and president of the United States and Senate Majority Leader and Hillary Clinton, for whatever that's worth. Then he gets attacked twice. Oh, well, it's clearly Trump's rhetoric again. It's like, wait a minute. And then Peter Doocy called Karine Jean-Pierre out on that yesterday. And then Karine Jean-Pierre called the Fox News reporter Peter Doocy dangerous for asking if calling Trump a threat was maybe not such a good idea. I mean, man, I was expecting a clown show, but this is the full Barnum Bailey circus tour.
And it feels like this is why, coming off what I think most people would agree was a good debate night for Kamala Harris, she hasn't really got a big bounce. Polling came out today from Pennsylvania that shows Donald Trump with a slight lead. I know you've told us on this show before, you feel pretty optimistic about what's happening in Michigan as well.
I do. I said this on the night of the debate coverage. I don't think that this is actually going to shift the polls one way or the other. And the key reason is because Americans really aren't sitting down to watch the debates like we did back when, Romney and Obama were going at it in 2012 and then debates prior. I just think that these days you're more likely to see short clips of social media snippets than you are the debate. And that means that really you're just going to get the echo chamber effect. And to be completely honest, everyone's kind of decided how they feel about these candidates at this point. So it's just going to be a neck-and-neck, slug-it-out fest. And the more stupid stuff the media does to embarrass themselves regarding their coverage of Harris and their coverage of Trump, the more it's going to skew the election more than anything else.
Hey, can you come back for one more break? Because I want to run this IVF story by you. Can you come back for one more?
Absolutely.
All right. Tony Kennett of the Tony Kennett Cast. He's coming right back. This is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Sinus pressure, congestion, snoring, being unable to sleep, being unable to breathe. Yep, it's another sinus infection. You've Googled, watched videos, tried over-the-counter sprays, medications, and home remedies, but nothing ever works. There must be some kind of treatment that can help, right? Indianapolis Sinus Center understands how draining it can be when you try treatment after treatment without any relief. That's why they've been serving and treating the community for over 50 years. Indianapolis Sinus Center has performed thousands of procedures and helped thousands of patients find lasting relief they didn't know was possible. Patients like you. If you've had enough of sinus pain, pressure, and congestion, schedule a visit with Indianapolis Sinus Center today. Call 317-528-9650 and take the first step toward breathing easy. 317-528-9650. That's 317-528-9650 or visit IndianapolisSinusCenter.com.
Did you know the Social Security Trust Fund is expected to run out of money in less than 10 years? And according to Barron's, an average income couple could lose up to $16,500 every year in Social Security income. Multiply that by 10 or 20 years, and it could be hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's why it's so critical you have the right strategy to file for Social Security.
Discover how you could get every nickel that's rightfully yours with a free, that's the key word, free custom Social Security analysis from Bill Demery, your retirement guy. Bill Demery is my retirement guy. He's Nigel's retirement guy. He should be yours. So if you've saved more than $200,000 and have not yet filed for Social Security, schedule that free analysis right now. 317-648-5120. 317-648-5120. 317-648-5120. Bill Demery, your retirement guy.
Does your job require you to be on your feet all day? Teachers, postal carriers, salespeople, and restaurant staff. Many of us need our feet to get through the day. Hi, it's Phoebe with the Good Feet Store, and I'd like you to hear from Donna. She's a nurse and a real Good Feet Store customer who wanted to share her story.
Oh, I have to tell you, I have struggled with pain in my feet. I was diagnosed with plantar fasciitis. With the 3-step program, it really fits to your lifestyle. I work in a hospital. I'm a registered nurse, so being on my feet, walking throughout the hospital during the day, I am free from any type of pain. And after working a 12-hour shift, I go home and my feet do not hurt.
Whether you're a nurse like Donna or anyone wanting to enjoy work without your feet getting in the way, come see us at the Good Feet Store. We're located in Castleton by the Fashion Mall or in Greenwood just off the 65. Learn more at goodfeet.com. Good Feet Arch supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Book an appointment for your free personalized fitting at goodfeet.com or just stop in. Walk-ins are welcome. Helping people live pain-free 2 feet at a time.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent. So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle.
Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle. This back-to-school season, Tide and Downy are giving back with $1.5 million in scholarships. Enter to win. No purchase necessary. US/DC 17+. End September 30th. Rules. Tide.com/scholarship/official rules.
Looking for a career path with flexibility and great pay and benefits? Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today. That's progressive.com/careers.
Chris Wedekin here, owner of Absolute Comfort. Our guys' experience brings us to a higher level than most other companies.
Absolute Comfort is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Matt Bear standing by with a look at the roads.
All right, we have really come down to a grind here on westbound 465 north side. That is now stop-and-go traffic after Meridian past Michigan Road. Not quite to 865, but it really stops around Michigan Road 421. Eastbound 465 stop-and-go Westfield Boulevard to the White River. East side northbound 465, that's stop-and-go traffic after 70 up to 75th. Crash Shadeland Avenue at 75th. Inbound 65 slow roll from the White River down to Meridian Penn. And eastbound 70 stop-and-go from Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. There is still time to get a patio this season. Get on the books now for a patio this fall. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts, changing the way Indy thinks about concrete. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
85 right now at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Back on the Hammer and Nigel Show, I'm Jason Hammer. Jeff Boggs is here. We're chatting with Tony Kennett of the Tony Kennett Cast. Coming up after our show tonight at 7 o'clock here at 93 WIBC. So Democrats are complaining about the IVF bill. Tony, walk me through this.
Okay, so Kamala Harris' big punch towards Donald Trump is that apparently he wants to ban in vitro fertilization, which is not true. In vitro fertilization, just another method of making sure that when there are pregnancy complications, the woman can still get pregnant. And, of course, Democrats are frustrated with that because they can't even define a woman, much less a pregnancy. But anyhow. This bill idea that was first prompted by Republican Senator Ted Cruz was that the federal government would protect a woman's right to basically seek alternative methods to get pregnant. And the Democrats then, Tammy Duckworth, came forward and proposed a bill that had one little sliver of it that had something sort of to do with IVF protection. And then, and you and I both know what's coming, a billion other random garbage things that should not be in anywhere near a bill called the IVF protection, whatever.
Happens all the time. Happens to every major piece of legislation, the bull crap they try to sneak in the back door.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Hammer, you're the kind of guy that I think would make a perfect congressional member, because if you actually got into Congress, you wouldn't want to just be some random no-name from Indiana. You would want to be the top dog. And so I'm going to tell everyone here, here's the secret. You want to be a good Congress member, you want to succeed on the Hill, here's how you do it. Number one, you make a bill called the Save All Puppies Act. Number two, you fill the bill with a bunch of crap that has nothing to do with saving puppies. Number three, your opponents, the Republicans in this case, for the IVF bill, they vote against all the garbage, unrelated crap in the bill. Step number four, you claim that all Republicans hate puppies. Boom!
That's
You're
it.
a national sensation.
That's the formula. That's how every single one of these things work. But asking people to, read or do their own research sometimes is asking too much.
I mean, I think so. I honestly, Senator Hammer, when I consider our time on the Hill, it's quite a joy getting to demonize my political opponents because, again, no one in this country actually cares about the primary system. No one actually holds representatives or senators accountable, since all of the bills are these big 400-page insane asylum spending packages. No one actually votes on issue anymore.
If Blutarski can become a senator, damn it, so can I.
That's right.
What's coming up on the big show tonight?
Really, I think we need to take a second look at all of the legal challenges that are coming in the courts in the next couple of months, because, man, if you thought the Supreme Court and the federal courts were crazy in the early part of the year, you better buckle up, because it is going to be a riot and a half outside the Supreme Court later this year.
Get ready, Bal. You're going to in for a problem, as Joe Biden once said. All right, coming up tonight, 7 o'clock, the Tony Kinnett Cast. Tonus, have a great show tonight, man.
Thanks, dude.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Cindy Carrasco has spent a career holding the powerful accountable. As Indiana's Inspector General and Director of the State Ethics Commission, Cindy fought waste, fraud, and abuse wherever she found it. Cindy also combated wrongdoing in state government, which meant standing up and doing the right thing even if it wasn't popular. Now, as our state senator, Cindy Carrasco continues to fight on behalf of all Hoosiers by improving the quality of our children's education, providing tax relief for everyone, and working to make our communities safe by getting law enforcement the resources they need to fight crime, violence, and keep fentanyl away from our families. It's why Cindy has been endorsed by the Indiana Fraternal Order of Police, State Police Alliance, and the Professional Firefighters of Indiana. Because they know that Cindy has their back, and we know she has ours. Vote for more government transparency, better schools, lower taxes, and safer streets. Vote Cindy Carrasco for State Senate.
Paid for by Cindy for Senate.
Hey, it's Rob. If you want to grow your hair back, check out the Artist Robotic FUE at We Grow Hair Indy. Darren Andrews, Clinic Director, is here to tell us more.
The accuracy and the precision of the Artist Robotic FUE is what clients love the most. Get the results you want with our Artist FUE or multi-unit hair grafting procedure.
Grow your hair back today at WeGrowHairIndy.com. Call 317-522-2995 for your evaluation. 317-522-2995.
When it's time to renovate, it's time to call Boer. B-O-O-H-E-R, BoerRemodeling.com, because it's about the process. It's about dealing with professionals who are with you every step of the way, communicating how things work. The best craftsmen and professionals who have been doing kitchens and bathrooms in Indianapolis for 2 decades. Talk to Boer Remodeling today about how they work and why it will work for you and your new kitchen. Call 317-852-5546, 852-5546, or online at Boer. B-O-O-H-E-R, BoerRemodeling.com.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Earn, save, grow. It's time your money works harder and goes further with a Stockyards Bank and Trust CD. For a limited time, earn 5.15 annual percentage yield with our 5-month CD special. Proudly serving our communities since 1904. Visit any of our 5 Indianapolis area locations or syb.com/IndyCD today and experience the Stockyards Bank difference. 10,000 minimum balance required. Limited time offer. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Are you concerned about rising gasoline taxes? I'm Donald Rainwater, Libertarian candidate for governor.
Hoosiers currently pay sales tax and excise tax on gasoline to the state. No one should pay two taxes for gasoline. So my plan is to abolish the gasoline excise tax in Indiana. To learn more about my plan to make Indiana government less taxing, go to rainwaterforindiana.com. My name is Donald Rainwater, and I approve this message. Paid for by Rainwater for Indiana.
The hot summer and the hot deals are coming at Tom Roush Lincoln. 0% for 60 months is back. Get 0% APR for 60 months on every new 2024 Lincoln Navigator. Plus get an additional $4,000 off MSRP. You can also take $3,000 off every new 2024 Lincoln Corsair 70 available. So get in here for one of those hot summer deals at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
For well-qualified buyers with approved credit. Not all buyers will qualify. Taxes and dealer fees extra. Stock number L24401. MSRP 107,425. Stock number L24284. MSRP is 43,435. See dealer for complete details. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. Be a responsible gun owner. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio. I'm Marek Mazurek. A brewery in Aurora, Indiana is embracing the power of small business. For